8 different ones, and I'm like, wait a minute. One of them is your tattoo. Uh, it's freaking crazy.
Yeah, that's the destroyer
I
there,
don't know if I
buddy.
could. Oh,
That's
damn
your
cat.
the destroyer for good.
Waiting on.
What have you tossed up the advertisement for YouTube or the?
I'm. It just went live. We just went live.
Okay, I'm refreshing my
Oh well,
screen.
I can't.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
see if
because
I
it
can
just
hear you.
came up. Yeah, I was trying to see if I can figure out how to get it to jump to the next one, or
Oh, I can hear me laughing.
yeah.
There, we got it fixed.
I just gotta watch out for the speaker picking
Hey, we
my
got it
microphone
fixed.
picking up the speaker, so we don't get reverberation.
Oh, well, I can turn this off. The sound here. See, I don't have to listen to me and you. I'm talking to me and you.
Just right.
I just want to see chat. That's fucking awesome. Hi, chat. I see you. I appear to be frozen. Oh, there I'm moving again. Now I'm
There's
chilling
always
now.
a delay, babe.
I'm going to pretend like I'm frozen.
Now I gotta make sure. The thing is I gotta be able to hear you, cause I can't hear you in my headset now.
Oh, you can't hear me in the headset.
Nope. There. That'll work. There you go. How's good audio still?
Oh, shit. I don't know. I got it turned off. Oh, dang, man.
Oh, well, I mean, you can hear me okay. You can hear me okay, Eric.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, well then we're good.
Oh, you can't hear me in the headset.
Right. Oh, you
Okay.
can't watch the live stream. You gotta turn all the audio off, or else you'll be listening to me 10 seconds after I talk.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I can still hear.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my audio's off. I just want to make sure we can still hear. I'm I'm frozen, Rick.
You look good on my end. Yeah.
I was froze up a little bit. Then I was acting frozen. I think I fooled Rick.
Oh. All right, so we got 4 viewers in. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, I could actually do it right here, but I don't have YouTube open.
They're all going to see me take this last ass hit out of this 3-hole beautiful piece.
Woohoo!
That looks
107
like a good picture.
subscribers.
How many?
I have 107 now.
Go, John.
Oh, crap. That's not right. I did my channel, not the video. Silly guy. There we go. I'm posting in the group the link.
Oh, yeah, there's a link. Should probably post that in a couple of groups myself.
Yeah, we gotta get some more people. Oh, look at that. The frame I
God
got.
dang, man. That's an ugly fucking thumbnail.
Yep. I was just talking about it. I'm like, wow.
That's some good shit. I love it. How do I post this on my? I could put it in the community, couldn't I?
Yeah, yeah, true. I haven't done that yet, but you could. You go. You go ahead and pause that now. I think.
I can't see his comments then.
Oh, well then mute it, cause that way my mic doesn't pick it up. You can't see this over here.
You're joking, right?
Okay. No. I just need something to drink, guys. Let me go get something to drink. All this talking.
There we go.
Fuck that
Oh
much.
shit, we're gonna get the trolls over here now. I just, I just invited it. Let's see. Let's see what happens to this count.
I doubt it because your troll Eric Briggs, I'm pretty sure is already blocked on my channel. I just so that he couldn't even see my videos.
Yeah, we're gonna get the silent ones.
But then again, if I mean, he's Five Eyes. I'm sure he can look at it anyways. He just won't be
I'm
able to
sure he
comment.
comes in on different what you call it, accounts. Anyways,
Mute. You do it right on right there on the player. Maybe turn it landscape. Anyways, I did have a little idea of a little experiment we could do that shows the things that we're talking about with when you add energy to a magnetic field, that magnet increases in power. Scalar physics with a simple magnet and metal. If you align it, I know you know this, Eric, but other people may not. And then you take another. I know you got to keep rubbing it for a while.
what are you doing? Making a magnet
Well, yeah, you rub.
from nothing.
Right. The energy may not maintain in these. Obviously, it's magnetic, but it may take a lot of rubbing to. And these may be too heavy. Yeah, but the theory, well, it is proven that it would basically it makes it a magnet, so therefore it becomes magnetic.
Yep.
I mean, all these
You got to
pieces,
rub it one way on the magnet.
they all, but obviously they were magnetic. But we
You
talk
got
about
your
scalar physics because you add energy, your magnet becomes stronger.
well, yeah, that's electron magnet 101. Uh, that's how they work. That's why the guy sits in that crane when it goes and picks up the car. He turns on the juice to that big old disc.
Yep, yep.
That's how that works.
That was
And
one job I wouldn't have
then he
minded
goes
doing.
like this. He boop, and he cuts the disc, the juice off, and it falls in the compactor. And it's like, damn, no juice, no magnet. And that's the way electron magnets work. That disc will sit there. It's the same one that was just holding up that car. They just killed the juice to it. If he had turned it down on like a rheostat, he could have found a hover point with that car. But
Yeah,
that's not what that thing's for. You know what I mean? It's to pick up the fucking car and drop it.
like I said, that's one job I wanted to do.
It looked like fun, and I know how it works. See, that's where we are there. I figured out how it works, and it's an electron magnet, and it's that simple. It's that simple. You turn on the juice, and it picks up the car. Turn it off, it drops it.
There. Now we got chat.
My chat's
I'm sharing it in several groups too. I'm still sharing it in groups. Okay. How many we got in there now, John?
5.
5.
Five.
He's being stupid. He keeps freezing.
See, my silent troll showed up.
Well, Heather says the stream keeps freezing up.
Does it?
Yeah, but that may be, the Wi-Fi.
It might.
But then again, she's 5 feet from the router, the Wi-Fi router, so it should be good.
Whose screen's freezing up? Mine.
I see you perfectly. She's just
It's fine now. It just,
has the stream on her phone running so she can see the chat,
Yeah.
and it was kind
I
of
can
freezing up.
see it now.
yeah, it's been fine.
So it looks like we have our first
Yeah.
question.
Exactly. 333. Mom's getting her juice from the sun. It's an electron flow. That bow shock. You want to show him, John? He's real good at it.
Yeah, actually, I had prepared for that.
He's the teacher.
But the issue was how am I going to get my camera? So which means now my
Ah,
assistant
well.
is not going to be able to help me since she has her hand in a bottle of acetone, doing her
I
nails.
could share my screen and give
No.
it my best
It's
shot.
fine. I can help.
I can do this right here.
Oh.
This was the way I was going to do it, if I had to. Just move my little webcam around. See, just. All right. So, how from the sun does it get into the earth? Okay. You know what? I really need an assistant.
What you gonna do? Draw it like scientifically?
Yeah,
Ha 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 ha!
that's the
good.
best way.
I got what you trying to do.
Okay.
It. Do it.
It's not going to be perfect, but
That light's causing a glare.
See, that's what Lee says too.
There we go.
yeah, but they can't see the writing at all. I'm going to have to do it. See? Oh, it's reversed. Why is my video reversed? That's not good. Okay, you guys will get the gist anyways. It's absolutely reversed. Rename pin video. Well, I don't see how to change it, so you just have to bear with me, okay? All right. So, energy comes from the sun, and then we have the earth. The earth, as every magnet, has two plane of inertias instead of just one. But the energy comes in at the equator. Yeah, that's better. And basically it comes in and it hits the first inertial line and loops around and loops back. And what it does is it continues around and crosses the plane and then rockets out the back. Hence the closed field lines. That's where it's what the energy is doing to make closed field lines. So again, from the sun, splash down on the inertial line, crosses over, now counterclockwise and on out. Comes in on the top, say it's counterclockwise, goes out clockwise on the bottom, comes in, okay, camera's good, comes in clockwise, crosses over, and exits counterclockwise. This is your four winds, but to get to your question, the energy comes in the equator, goes through the core, and goes right back out the backside. Some does go out the poles a little bit, and that's where we have the pole cap lines in ISWA. So that's what you're seeing. They're all, flowing back like hair. That's them. But all the field lines in the back are coming out, or the closed field lines are coming out the back. Now, when we see auroras, we are seeing the energy coming from Earth and going out the atmosphere out the poles, north and south. So that's why we have the auroras. It does not come in this way. Nope. It comes in here. Now,
Can I show them?
on Iswa, you remember, if you've looked at it, there's these horn. It's I guess they call it the
There you
horn.
go. Mm-hmm.
But what it's doing, and it looks like it's coming in the poles, but that's just the way it is. But it's still coming in the equator. It's not coming in from the poles. Okay, we're still good on video. You know, magnetopause is just a shield. A lot of the energy goes around, but it does penetrate. And because this horn is here, because the field lines here are closed, because this is essentially a magnetic field or electromagnetic field, so therefore the field lines close. And then out the back, we just have this pretty much just a single one, but this also ties in with the golden plane of how that plane flies. If you remember, let me move over here. The golden plane is still the same thing. You saw the drawing, it was like this. Well, that's the splashdown, energy coming in, and it rockets out the back. Oops, this way. So you have your intake of your engine, and you have your thrust out the back, and we have some energy going out the top to stabilize your elevation or altitude. So that's how that airplane works. And
Yep.
this is every single magnet ever created, including you. Because we are
Including you.
all magnets. We are
That's why
7
we can
billion,
levitate.
billion atoms, aka magnets. So, and I learned all this from scientifically in, driving. I was going to Delaware every day, and it was like 4 hours one way. So I just have his video playing and listening to it, and I was able to pick up a lot of things.
Let me show them what it looks like on this wall
Okay.
versus what it doesn't look like on this wall.
She has another question.
Okay.
Do you want the question?
It's in chat.
You see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. You see how it's coming in? You see how this is not a smooth line? You can see an actual indentation
Nope.
from the
It's
magnetopause
just
right
delayed, baby.
here and right here on the edge.
Yeah.
It's riding it down to the center and out the back. That's where she's drawing extra juice. That's why I call those induction heating days, because she's literally drawing extra from the sides of this usual draw of hers as a resting magnet. This is when she's a magnet under load, is showing excessive draw, as opposed to the top where it's barely coming in. There are some days where she, like this, is really drawing it in. I call that the double induction days, because you can see the whole freaking front end. And this is days where we have upticks on volcanoes, usually within 12 hours of this going on, and an uptick on quakes, because when she slows back down, it starts cooling down a little bit. And you know what happens then? See, look at her pushing, And this one here is someone else pushing against us. This is her pushing against the wad, and this is the wad pushing from the center. But she's barely inducing. She's got a pretty good draw on the southern, and rarely any more days lately. I'd have to dig really deep to find one where she's not inducing.
Do you guys see his airplane? Sorry. Roll up to the airplane again.
I'll bring that right back.
Okay.
I think I might found one. Well, she's inducing from the top here a little bit, but the bottom, you can see how that's smooth. That's how both of these should always be. You should never see induction coming in around this. closed field line, but it is, and that's her doing that to close these field lines, which she's never had a reason to close, and now there's a magnet behind there reacting to hers. Yeah, we'll bring it back to this plane because that plane is one of the keys that helped me realize how
Yeah,
I
there you
was
go.
reading this crazy language of hieroglyphy. Here's your compressed halo wave right here. What John just drew, the four winds, right there, and right here, centripetal and centrifugal feeding in, compressed halo wave, bam, out it goes. It takes off for you, and you can operate that thing just like he showed you. So
Yeah, so Truck Dog, well, Truck Dog asked the question, basically how does she know to do that? But every magnet knows that
uh-huh.
once the fields basically detect or come in close enough, they actually lock in. Well,
Yeah, as
well,
far
with
as
the
that
match
goes.
with the same polarity, they will actually close up. They
However, I
they
don't
ball
know
they what they
if
do is they
that.
ball up and clinch and won't lock on. So basically, they become bumping heads.
Yeah, the
So
closed field
every
lines
field
is
does that.
something every magnet does. However, what's telling her to draw more electric? Because electron magnets don't do that by themselves. They don't adjust their uh, electron flow like that. They will close the field lines, of course, because that's what a magnet does. But what's telling her to add more juice? That's
What?
her.
Well, yeah,
That's got to be her because that just because she's got a closed field line doesn't mean she's going to add more juice. She's just going to close that field line.
right.
You know what I mean? And as a result, the polar lines disappear when you start doing that because you're not adding more juice, and those closed field lines are worth more value electrically because they're fucking like they're actual direct feed from the energy to the energy. You know what I mean? Equator to equator instead of fucking coming back around like that. It's um it's more power, more strength to one of those closed field lines than like all of those field lines. So you start closing field lines, you're going to lose all your pole lines. And that's what's happening. But she's keeping these pole lines up by adding more fucking juice, dude.
Yeah. It,
That's not something a magnet just does. That the only way I can answer that is mom's alive and knows how to drive. That's the only answer I have for you, honestly. Or she's got a little dude in there pushing a button talking about bring that rheostat up because that's not just something an electron magnet would do. It how would it turn up its power? I mean, only the conscious being could make that decision.
now, what the basically when you have two magnetic fields and the polarity is the same. This is for everybody else, of course. Eric, I know you know, but when those feelers, the pole lines, the pole cap lines, they're basically once those fields get close, if it's matching polarity, they're gonna curl up and just basically stay away from each other.
Bump fists.
Now, when we have a positive and a negative, and they get in, they're gonna curl up and lock in like this every time. So that's when basically shit, that's what when you get a magnetic chain, they're gonna lock in like that. The field lines lock up. Sorry, it's not the best explanation, but I mean, that's what they're doing. Exactly how scientifically shows in
Yeah.
his videos is they're gonna close up or they're gonna lock in, but
That's
they
what
gotta
it shows
have
on
the
the
opposite
feral cell.
polarity. Right.
That's exactly what it shows on the feral cell, just what you did.
Right. And
Except you're not a whole bunch of them doing it at once.
yeah, it's the exact same video you show when you show the closed field lines. That's
Yeah.
they're closing up to
That's
say
on
nope, this is
Scientifically
not gonna
too.
work.
That
They've gotta.
video is on Scientifically too. It's not on Scientifically one,
Yeah. Okay. That's on two.
by the way.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
on two.
You show it enough. Anybody who's seen your videos in the last 2 months has seen that video.
Yeah. I could pull it up right quick.
I'm sure you could.
I got it on Quick Draw. Shit. I found out, I guess Unknown has a playlist with 100 and some of my videos on it. I was like, damn. I didn't know that until yesterday.
So yeah, I haven't seen any more questions.
They're all tripping on the consciousness of mom. That is the only explanation I do have for that, actually. That she's making a real conscious decision.
Let's put it in the fridge, please.
So, anything other than that, I don't know. I'd be interested to see how that worked.
Hmm. So yeah, if you see like on there's YouTube videos where they're talking about the four worlds, and they show those same hieroglyphs with that looks like the airplane and the helicopter.
Yeah,
Really, it needs to say the four winds.
wins. Yeah, a lot of people.
WINDS.
That's why I said they keep that information separated by keywords like that, man. They don't want people knowing about the four winds. That's a big story.
I mean, you can see the four winds on Lee's channel.
Yeah,
I know it's
yeah.
on
That's
his
why
phone.
Eric Briggs is starting to show up on Lee's channel because I'm starting to bring attention to, hey, we can read this fucking ancient language. That's why I made another video. I was like, damn it, because somebody came to me and was like, did you know someone's probably pretending to be you? I was like, oh shit, yeah, yeah, that guy's back. So yeah, I saw him over on Lee. Somebody had brought a screenshot of him to my attention, and one of my new folks too. Man, they were like, this ain't the same guy. And someone had said that it wasn't the same guy previously, and she did. She took the screenshot, gave it to me, and I was like, well, I need to make a video about this asshole again. Because I know how people are. They don't always go back and look. So even after, did you see the commentary in my video when I made that one about Eric Briggs? Nate called him out by name. Somebody came in there, some truth, something about why are you calling yourself names? I'm like,
Because it's not me. No, I didn't see that comment.
like 3 or 4 of them up down there, same person. I was beginning to wonder if they were a troll or some shit, man. I don't know. I mean, I just made a video letting you know it's not motherfucking me. What are you gonna do with that?
I wouldn't know. I haven't been.
Well,
And that comes along with a question that Truck Dog asks: is how do we know? And I mean, the science of that is every magnet along. I mean, everything is interconnected electromagnetically in the universe, from the molecule or the atom to the galactic. So once you're connected in that magnetic chain, communication in any kind, I mean, that's just energy flow, and that covers sound, water, and energy. It all flows the exact same way. So once you're connected in, I mean, you're gonna know. She'll have direct access to you. And
Yeah.
personally,
And
I have not experienced that yet, and that's not with a lack of trying. But
she
maybe
has
I've
the
got some
ability to
block.
be
But
rude too.
and 333 was saying, yes, it's basically Earth is a capacitor, but you also got to remember everything is a capacitor or a resistor, an insulator or and a capacitor, including glass. So yeah, that's exactly what she's drawing the energy from the bow shock, the induction heating,
Hmm.
and rocketing it right out the back, just like
Yep.
a capacitor.
Yes. That's why it's not so hard to make a jump from actual components in a PC board to planetary physics. I
Yep.
mean, it all, if you look at the components and what they do, we're in an electron flow and we are a capacitor. Sometimes we're a resistor. She can
Right.
act like a resistor in the flow. If it's between the two suns, boy, you don't want to be that resistor.
There's always a path, but I mean, our flow is coming from the sun, and
Yes. Well, two now,
well,
three.
right. I mean, but
That's
for
why
everyone else, I
everything's.
mean, there may be someone who has no clue what's going on, and we're just sitting here
That's why
talking about
everything's burning
electronics
up.
and energy. And
That's why everything's burning up, and we're having ancient seeds sprout.
no,
Those seeds
I just saw
were
those
born
pictures the other
under a
day you
higher
sent me.
energy sun.
Again,
You know.
I was
Sorry.
just telling. Sorry, I was just telling someone on the. I think it was Strange Skies 1111. I was explaining to him that he had said, "Oh, the magnetosphere is waning," and that's the common theme, with solar minimum, so therefore less energy from the sun, less energy to us, therefore our magnetosphere is lending more energy and is weakened. But really, now that we have three suns here, energy is being added to our magnetosphere. It is not
Yeah.
weakening; it is getting stronger, and we can see that on
Yes.
Iswa.
You can see it with your own eyes,
Yep.
and you
I
can
mean,
see the
she's
result of it.
transferring energy. We saw it, and I posted about it. From you could see the energy flow from coming from her out the back, going right over to
Yeah.
the what we call blue, you and I, the blue
Yeah.
magnetic signature, and then bouncing right up to the north to Toth up over top of us because we've been seeing him with, the
With our
with our
eyes.
exactly. So
Yeah.
magnetically, we're
That's
seeing
what's causing
magnetically
those
this
big
there.
mysterious shadows.
Yeah.
That kind of cures that.
Well, we see you've seen it visually, and I've seen it
Yeah.
on ISWA. I mean, that's what those field lines are doing. They're going up there and connecting to another magnetic body,
Hmm.
just like we talked about. That's
That's the
what they're
only
doing.
explanation for that. That's because that's the only thing magnets do. That's what they've always done. They don't do anything different.
Those pole cap lines, that's all they do is they're feeling around. They're feeling
Yep.
around everything around them, and then seeing if another magnetic
And
field comes around, and if it's the right polarity, they'll bond. And
just
if
gonna take
not,
it,
they'll.
just gonna close it. See, and that's called repelling.
Yep.
Um, that that effect will happen on any magnet, bar magnet, electron magnet, any of that. That's a magnetic field line, and that's how they work. And it did took me how long to get through to people how that works until I finally put it on the ferrule cell and leave brought and they closed. And all of a sudden everybody got it. I was like, oh, I should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah. But we can never forget the moon because one thing I always say is we could lose the satellites, we can lose our phones, we can lose everything, but we still got all the signs we see in our sky. We got the moon doing cartwheels,
Yep.
the electric haze that is over top of our heads now. It's not something that just sits out along the horizon now. It's all the way over top, but it's harder to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
But I've got pictures, especially like when large clouds, storms are kind of coming in, and you can see that when the light's shining through, that the haze is there. You
Hmm.
know, and it's
It's
not
right
just a
above
cloud,
your
so
head.
it's there. It's just been thickening over the and 2 years ago there was none. It was not there. You
Yeah,
would sit
it
out at
wasn't like
30
that.
degrees and be like,
That's
why does it look humid and hazy like it's 85 degrees in the East Coast?
atmospheric compression, magnetospheric compression. There's a few different reasons why we're getting that haze because there is
Mhm.
atmospheric compression going on also.
Yeah.
Um, Planes are flying lower.
Well, we've all got the wave clouds that basically the patterned wave, like looks like an ocean wave or a radio
Yeah,
wave. Those were
they're
gone, not there
microwaves,
2 years ago.
and they cross each other with
Hmm.
microwave patterns. That's showing two different fields.
From my understanding now from Lee, and we were just kind of talking about that. I'm still trying to piece that together exactly how it does that, but I think basically whether it's a vertical or horizontal Birkeland current or double helix is how those are actually happening. I'm pretty sure it's a vertical thing because we know the
It,
energy is leaving from the ground, so it's got to be something
this is
vertical.
something actually affecting the ionosphere showing up in the clouds at different wavelengths. Ra has a way different wavelength, a lot higher frequency than both the yellow and the red sun. And you can see that reflected in the clouds because one of them's an open and the other one's a tight.
Yeah, different elevations or altitudes you could see
Yes,
different like. Hmm.
yes, yes. They're reflecting different wavelengths in our ionosphere. That's why they're showing up through our atmosphere. It's getting that strong.
Right.
And you can see the pulse in the ionosphere. Uh, I don't know if you use that. I don't. Well, I mean, I look at it, but I don't use it because it's very confusing to most people. Because one, that ionosphere shouldn't be pulsing like that, and it is. You can look at the ionosphere things and see that it's a fucking pulse line,
Yeah, exactly. Cause,
double and
hmm
conducting pulse line,
cause,
overlaying pulse lines. That's what you're seeing in your clouds.
yeah,
That's been
because
there.
there's that precipitable whatever mimic website that they've done, and you can look in the thing, and there's a sine wave running through it. It's very very faint and it's clear. In fact, I can easily pull it up, but it just don't know if it's gonna show. And I don't want to block you. I can change the camera around this a
I
little
can
bit.
pull up ISWA and show you what I'm talking about on
I
my
got it.
screen because it monitors it live. I just never throw it on. I
Um,
might do it and then some
Mimic.
tomorrow and explain the ripple clouds to everybody or something.
I got it up. It's like total precipitable water vapor. Um, but basically, if you watch it play, you can see a sine wave very faintly running through this tool.
Yeah,
And I've tried pointing it out to people, and just no one's ever commented. I'm like, there's a huge magnetic signature right here in this
no,
thing.
I know.
Goddamn sine
I've
wave.
seen
And
it
people are like,
too, and they
"Peh,
blame Park. I'm like,
what's
Park
that?"
doesn't have that kind of motherfucking power, people. People don't understand transmission and sine waves and shit. That's why I don't talk about them. I'm not the teacher. I just want people to understand as basically as I can show them. But I keep telling people there's over a dozen ways to tell that there's something the fuck out there that we ain't been told about. I just I had a hard time explaining the closed field line. How am I going to explain a sine wave to somebody in the ionosphere transferring through to that atmosphere in cloud? I mean, I can show you that on the ferrule cell, but
The
to
ferro
get
cell
people
has
to
done a lot
understand
for
it,
us.
that might be a little rough.
Yeah, the UVCs here green. Well, because we know. I mean, Eric has shown that the the Kachinas are UV suns. So
Yeah,
basically, that's. I mean, it's gonna if you have the way the atmosphere is supposed to absorb all the UVC, but
we've got
when
three
a sponge
suns.
gets full, what's gonna happen? It's gonna start dripping water out. So it's letting it through. And they also say it's a byproduct of solar minimum is less energy from the sun, so therefore more particles get through our shield. But as we all know, that's really not the case because we're adding energy to our shield. So it's got to be the energy coming that is getting in has the UVC. And you're right. I mean, it should be zero, but we're still only seeing a very small amount. It's very low. Like
We're getting
one
a
to
few
a
feet
thousand
up.
in comparison. If a UV, B, and C UV index is at 1,000, the UVC is only at 1. Yes, is only at 1. It's only one digit, so it's a very small amount, but it is there.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, it's a big huge thing." I mean, the only thing we can really do is cover up with heavy materials, like canvas. Sunscreen doesn't cover
like we
C.
used to.
I've seen someone who makes sunscreen for UVC, but it's like $30 for like a syringe worth. It's like 2 applications.
That's worth it.
They were selling it, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. I mean, the only way is heavy canvas, like heavy canvas on your head, covering down your back and covering your spine. You want to cover your head and spine with UVC. A and B
See,
is where your
and,
skin, where
and
you got to be careful with your skin more.
at,
But
at this point in time, normally we would understand and know what's going on. We would already be doing our job in Mother's Tour.
true,
Um,
right?
and none of this would be happening to the wildlife. See, that's what stewardism, that whole thing is what I'm reading on the wall with all this nature and shit going on. And that's up to us to help hold down. And we're just basically not doing it because there's so much division. And at some point, that division has to just give. And I don't think YouTube's going to do it. I
No,
trust Mom's going to give out her alarm on her time. I wish it had been yesterday or the day before, but that's not my choice. I do know she literally runs on our alpha wave. That's your brain. And I know that she literally runs on our frequency of our same magnet. And that to me, it means even more than the brain wave because I understand that she can hit your heart hard and she can send you frequencies uh, that you have neurons to transmit to this one to figure out what his frequencies are, and she can send you pictures and sounds. And I know this. I could prove that
Like during yoga.
with harmonic frequencies and magnetospheres and all that good stuff. Um, but on top of it, she's got her alpha wave too. That's your brain. I mean, what could she not tell you?
there. I
So
mean, right. Knowing
uh,
energy transmits out away from Earth, so therefore communication would be. She would be able to communicate with anything because
is
it
that
come from the center.
right now?
Yeah, this is just it's null school. I was just gonna show basically another indicator that we know the energy is coming in the equator because
Dude, well, looky there
right here.
at the equator.
Because this is ocean currents. So I was showing that ocean currents are showing us that the energy is coming in the center because
They
there's
sure
no
do.
currents up here, and you can see the Birkeland currents here with some energy on the south. But I mean, it's primarily right at the
Primarily in the
equator.
north because of our tilt.
I don't know. Eric, Heather would like to know if you have done yoga.
Have I done yoga?
Yes.
Um, Not much. I've done it before, but not much.
Okay. That's what she's doing.
No, I have a herniated disc and two degenerative discs that I continually stretch. That's why I'm always moving around. I'm changing my position so I don't get too stiff.
I use it to connect. I like to use it to
If I
connect
sit in
myself.
one position too
Hmm.
long, man, it's hard to get moving.
Well, that's that. Let's see. What else was I gonna show here? Well, I mean, here's our Birkeland currents. But I learned that the Earth tilts because of these currents. And basically in the winter, these currents are strong in the north to
Yeah.
tilt us over, and then in the summertime, our summertime in the northern hemisphere, the Birkeland currents are stronger here. As you can see, it's broken down now. But you go and look at this in the northern hemisphere summer. This is how the northern hemisphere will look. Oh, they're all basically right here at the pole. But the major band of energy, I mean, you still got this major band right here. Because
Hmm.
this is where it's all leaving.
It's a major band, all right.
And this is why the the tropical zone around the equator is warm, because all the energy flow. And what do you get with energy flow? With some friction, you get heat. So
Mhm.
that's why the equator is warm and the poles are cold, because very little energy leaves at the poles. So that's multiple ways that show how what we're talking about.
Look at the spread on that freaking shit up top, dude.
The here.
Yeah.
Hmm. Now I don't recall it being this wide, but I have some photos from where I was watching this, trying to understand why, like, the northern hemisphere was full of particulates, the southern hemisphere was completely clear, and I didn't understand it. But I learned why is because the the stronger currents were pushing all the particulates to the other side of the globe.
Well, not only that, John, the first clue I had to what had tilted us, because as soon as I realized what had happened in 2010, I still hadn't even gotten online and I put it together. I was watching the weatherman and he started talking about the polar vortex. And I was like, what the fuck is a polar vortex? And they broke it down about how there's three swirls going on up there. And they showed us little pictures and shit on the news. I knew right then what had happened.
There you go.
Something grabbed our fucking North Pole and tilted us because we should only have one swirl.
Now we have four.
It's insane. Well, that's because some of these, like I said, I think one of these planets is bigger than the sun, which I didn't realize could happen in the first place. Um, Actually rounded the sun recently.
Well, yeah, we think when SDO went down, yeah.
That's
But
got to have some kind of big
right here,
magnitude.
this is the polar vortex level.
Yeah, that's not even right. That's not even fucking right. That's that's pure insanity that I'm looking at. Number one, you got things going counter and clockwise. Okay, you shouldn't. Number two,
Yeah,
oh my God, we
should only
have
be counter.
yeah, we have one sun. We have one sun. Yeah, why is this clockwise and that one clockwise? You know, that one there's fucking counter and that one's counter. What are you? What are we really looking at? That looks like the four winds to me, bro.
Well, that's what I was actually kind of thinking. Like, if you imagine a cross through here, this quadrant would be counterclockwise if that was the four winds.
Yeah,
instead of clockwise. It'd
yeah.
be
No, it's
counterclockwise.
actually different.
This one will be clockwise. This one will be counter, and this one will be clockwise.
That, as you, I'm sure,
Counter,
know, is
clockwise,
representing what
clockwise,
you're.
counter. Sorry. So they're actually running almost a complete opposite what they should be.
Yeah, you're actually looking at
Are
different
you
planets and,
sending these to
well,
me?
different suns, different magnets gripping a hold of us that have never done that before. And that's why we're getting this wild swing weather, hot and cold, hot and cold. Look at it. Look at the fucking jet stream up there because of that shit, man. It's like, holy fuck.
I gotta bring. Check this out, okay? This is, um, yeah. Basically, this is the most recent from Navstar or whatever is his channel. He has magnometers all around the world. You can see the continents now, but basically, to me, that's saying that we have flipped. We always said we've already tilted because why do
We've
we
already
have all this
told you.
pressure the north and the south,
Yeah.
and the equator is low pressure? You know, the magnetic field pressure is lower when it really the magnetic field pressure would be at the equator and not
Yeah.
at the poles. So
Good.
I don't think that he's even understanding that we've already tilted over, and I don't know, where he's getting his numbers from and how he's inputting his data. He thinks what he's seeing is correct, but really it should be the red around the equator, uh, just like here.
Yeah, it should be. But we're
But
definitely seeing strain on the poles. I mean,
that
look at it.
that's from
Look.
today.
Yeah, that's what I
Those
was,
are
look
he
at.
has these magnometers. He's got like 8 or 9 or 10 of them. He got spread around the world with from his viewers. So that's what he watches, and it's like
That's what a magnet tug of war looks like.
I'm like, wait a minute.
And we're
The
right in the
blue
middle of
should
one.
be at the poles, not at the equator. Even if it has nothing to do with temperature, that's just the magnetic field and the energy laws. The pressure should be at the equator,
Yeah.
not at the poles. So I'm
Yep.
like, yep. To me, that's a confirmation. I mean, we already know at the moon that we've tilted over. But the guy's so. I mean, he's a smart guy, but he's getting his information from what he was taught through college or whatever research he's looking online, and he just does. He's blind to the fact that it's tilted.
Bro, I've had several of these literal NASA astronomers look at me and be like, "You put my puzzle together." Swear to God, John. While I was working in Galveston there, I was, being me, talking to everybody, and they'd walk in and tell me they're a national astronomer. Have you noticed the moon's doing cartwheels? He'd give me that sideways look and be like, no. Three different ones. One of them didn't come back. The other one did, the other ones did. One of them told me, be careful um, who I tell that to. The other one told me to be careful who I told that to. Thanked me, gave me a $20 tip, said I put his puzzle together because he had been staring through a telescope watching it do shit it shouldn't be doing. The nebula he was watching. And he was like, he couldn't figure it out. He's like, oh my God, I know what I'm seeing. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Have we missed any questions?
Take your eye out of the telescope. Look tonight. He was with his wife. He, he I had to say 2 out of 3 went kind of white. Like I said, the other guy didn't come back. So,
Well,
yeah, just because they work for NASA doesn't mean they know shit. They're specialized geniuses.
mm-hmm.
Put it that way. They specialize in one area and they're a genius in that. Well, that's cool. If that's the way you want to live your life. Because,
I don't know.
I've always looked at everything. Especially when I started noticing the moon was doing cartwheels. I was like, holy fuck. What else did I miss? Orion's over here bouncing around and shit. I'm like, what the hell are you doing from day to day? That was back in 2010, boy. We was wobbling pretty good. And we held steady for years, and now we're starting to do that wobble again. You know, that's I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I was looking at a Facebook. He was showing on his wall that basically we were in one day we had tilted a lot, just in one day. If you just put a line in through his wall and
Yeah.
ran it, it was quite interesting. I'm like, I didn't notice it.
Yeah, yeah, you can see that. But that's the field it's reading. I'm not so sure if that's our tilt. I watch the sun and the stars more than anything. I can tell you this much: we have taken some 20 and 30-degree tilts in the day. So I've seen that with my own eyes.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, shit, man. What was it? A couple months ago, everything was rising and setting in the north, and I mean like north. Now everything's happening in the south, and it's like almost due south. You know, that's that's fucking crazy. That's way beyond tropic line parameters. You know, tropic lines is 47 degrees in 6 months and back. You know, that's
Oh, no northern pole cap lines again.
yeah. I was looking. She's like
I'm
I
looking
said,
right
it
now.
doesn't surprise me that you guys are lagging at all. Turn on your ionosphere over there and look at your
Wow, look at
or
the
you know
tilt.
what? It shows up in a magnetosphere too. They have a graph line on that magnetosphere that shows that pulse in it too. Have you ever looked at that
Which tool?
magnetosphere? The pulse, the one that
Yeah,
yeah. There's a pulse one there. There's a sine wave there too. That it should not be there.
I haven't seen that here. You can't see my screen, right?
Yes, yes, we can.
Oh,
I'm
well, I know
looking
you
at
can,
the
but he can't.
I'm looking at the
You
YouTube
can?
display, bro.
Oh, okay,
I've got you thumbnailed.
okay,
But no, right there in your ISWA tool,
yeah.
there's the magnetosphere has a sine wave option in one of those maps.
Magnetosphere.
Same place you're getting the Y cuts.
Yeah, right here.
It's just a different segment. Actually, I think it's the same satellite. It's just a different feed off the. Look at that crunch on the front, man.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
a
about.
lot.
The tilt here.
There's a lot of heat right there.
Still looks like a penis.
I mean, this tilt should be here because we're tilting. The northern hemisphere is tilting away from the sun. But the guy was showing it where it was tilting back, like we were springtime, and then it was coming back up north in one day. I don't know.
Look at that shit. Yeah, I seen that truck.
Hey, look at that.
Did you notice a planet flying across the lower right screen last week? The one you just closed.
No.
Yeah, see, I mean, if they're, regardless of what's coming from the sun, that magnet shouldn't be acting that way.
No.
On a calm day, on a rough day, any day, all day, that magnet, look at that magnet. That's another magnet back there, right
Yeah.
there showing up and goes. That's what amazes me. Is people can't understand what they're looking at. This is a magnet down here. That's a magnet out there.
You talking
And
about this one?
I could prove that in a ferrocell.
There was a planet ghosting through that one feed for like 3 weeks.
Is that a comment?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you see the planet flying across that lower right screen last week? The one you just closed. You couldn't miss it. It was so obvious.
No, I don't see it. Just now?
Yeah, we on this one, yeah, on that one you had on John, he was asking if he saw that planet fly through there. I was like, yeah, that's how we spot them, truck. That's how we started. The first day we realized that
Oh, I know what he's talking about. He's talking
goes
about
was
this right
to
there.
act like a radar. I was tripping on Facebook. That's documented too.
Yeah, he's talking
I was
about
like, oh my
this.
god, dude, that thing will spot them clear. Spot them clear some days. When she discharges, it marks them all. It's like pop, 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 pop.
Mm-hmm.
You can see them.
Exactly. I mean, you can see two right here. You got your pressure here, and then you have
Yeah, yeah.
pole cap lines wrapping around.
Wrapping around that one and bypassing that one in the middle, right there where that green is.
Yeah. But I mean, the looping right here, and that's
That's a little bit of her grabbing another magnetosphere. That's not all her loop. That's another magnetosphere wound up tight. Goes is looking at, and she's reading back and feeding it that highly charged ions that she's trying to drain off. She's feeding that directly to that capacitor there behind us.
there we go. There, I got a little raw in with that one right there.
That's just a penis. They all look like penis. I don't, doesn't it?
Yes, this right here, yes, but so right here we got a little raw signature right there. Well, that's what you and I agreed. We agreed this was Raw's field.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the overlapping
Right.
IMF line, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. That's a big magnetic field over ours. That's what we're looking at. That's why they're crossed like that.
I can't get
Because
the
magnet lines
signature
don't
up.
cross. There's only one reason you would see two crossed fields is two because there's two fields. I can't even say
Yeah,
it without.
yeah. The wave went through. Hmm.
It's got to be two fields causing that minimum of two fields.
Wow.
Put it that way.
Well, it's overlaying, because that's what I was saying. I was like the blue signature in the back. I'm like, that's not big enough for a sun. I mean,
Uh,
we can look at the graph and look at the signature and say, well, you've got X
yeah,
amount of
that's
miles between positive 10 and negative 10, and I'm like, well, if there's no way that's large enough for a sun, so that's got to be a planet.
yeah, it's a
And that
planet.
these overlaying field lines, IMF lines, I'm like, that's got to be raw.
Yeah, and that coming from the back, all that
Hmm.
coming from the back over here in IMF, that is
Yeah,
field line from Raw too.
the small
But
ones.
yeah, that big ball back there, that's Raw's planet. That big one.
Let me see if I
All the
can get
rest
in.
of these are smaller than that one in the back, but they're bigger than us.
She would be much happier to have her gold
So,
than
I say smaller, and it's hard to say that word when I'm describing these fucking things behind us.
Yeah, because the
Bobby and I sat
Anunnaki
and
been
did
taking
the
gold.
size
Hmm?
figuration on this one behind
By
us,
looking
and
at your
it's
walls, gold is
about
important to
60
magnets.
times bigger than us. I'm like, oh my
Well,
god,
gold's a
dude,
good conductor. There you go. I got a good frame of blue.
that one, that one, right there. He's about 60 times bigger than us, and that's a planet. That's a fucking planet.
Yeah, I mean, you look
That
at the
ain't even
sig.
raw yet.
You can see how you can calculate how big this part of the field is basically. I mean, it's from 10 down to negative 15, and you just knowing the RE.
He's looking at
RE is 3,963 miles, so you just basically take 25 times 3,963, and now you have the size of this section of the field. And that's how we tell how far back anything is. It's
yeah,
simple. Just zero is this is Earth. So if you see something there, let's see if we can pick up something obvious in this frame. Well, right here we know there's things here, so you just zero back to say negative 30, and you take 30 times 3,963, and there's your miles from here to that object. And lunar orbit is at negative 60, so it's inside lunar orbit.
yep.
And everyone's talking, oh, there's something out there by the sun. I'm like, ha,
You
who
see what's
cares?
behind us.
50,000 miles to something right here behind us, and you're worried about out there at the sun? No, I'm not worried about the sun. Plus, there's 10 million people looking at the sun right now, trying to find Planet X.
I know, right?
I mean, it's a planet. Who cares? We got them right here next to us, and
It's
we're
like they're
all
sneaking
still
up on
here.
your ass. And that's the funny thing. It's how all these legends describe it. It sneaks up on your ass. You don't see it till it's there. And you know what? I'm watching it happen. I'm watching it fucking happen like a slow train wreck. And we've been monitoring this, and it's been getting more and more and more evident every day. Every day. And I'm just glad we got the tools to look. And I'm glad I had a little bit of a jump start on some fucking knowings to figure out what the fuck was going on. Or it would have snuck right up on our ass. Tell me it wouldn't. If nobody was looking at this, or if I wasn't telling you, I
They
mean,
obviously already have snuck up on us. We know that.
yeah, it's here. It's here. It's affecting us, but no one's seen it yet. I
These
mean,
and
we've
these.
seen objects,
Well,
but we
pressure
haven't seen
difference
blue
maybe
Kachina. We have
objects
not.
there,
I've seen it,
because a lot
but
of times you'll
it's
see
hard to
reactions
see. But when this motherfucker reveals
when they're
itself,
moving
people are
around.
gonna fucking shit themselves inside out because it's not just gonna be the blue Kachina
See right
that
there,
reveals
same
itself.
spot.
It's gonna be all of. They're gonna see all of this shit around us, and they're gonna be like,
And the
"Oh dear."
cross, this cross is showing
Here's your
something.
fart 3-3. That's the brown noise. She would have been a lot better off if her gold had not been robbed 333. That's why she needs us down there. She needs us to help and to heal her, make her stronger. And we need to get on it. We need to stop hating each other and get down there and make sure them Hopi and Navajos stop hating on each other and let the family come gather. Like I said, I keep getting the feeling there's more going on behind the scenes at Hopi than they're letting it on. Although the Navajo are talking to me. So I don't even know what the hell's going on, but I keep hearing people saying, "Oh yeah, they're having a big gathering at the Hopi." Well, I hope they do. I fucking hope they do, because that's what I hear is that they're having one from Michigan, from Oklahoma, from everybody I've heard is talking about people talking about going and having that big meeting at the Hopi.
Yeah,
Yeah, no fear, Heather. That's not allowed.
No.
We have
Someone said,
jobs to
how is
do.
it
We
that
don't
only a very
have
few
time
are
for
talking about
fear.
this?
That's what they
We're
want us,
scared.
though. They
They don't
want
want
us
us to see
fear.
things.
talking
Knowing
about
what's going on kills fear.
what specifically, truck? And there, I see. I think there are lots of people that know there's something going on, but they're getting stuck in all. They go start searching on YouTube, and they
Yeah.
see all these big name channels. Like I'm not going to name anybody out, but they're getting their information from them, and they're just seeing, well, this channel's got 100,000 subs, and so he must be saying something right. So then
Must be
they,
saying
they
something
pick
right.
up
Yeah.
something. They pick up keywords like Sun Simulator and
And they
Do
got
and
good
Harp and
production value going on.
right. And then you've got, see, the way it works is you've got the big name channels like that, and then you have all the people listening to them who then started their own channels, and now they're saying the exact same thing. So then it's just spreading out and spreading out and spreading out, and we're trying to do the same thing, but I mean, we have just a very small voice. So,
Yeah.
and everyone, they're all listening to these channels, and they're all like, everyone's all repeating the same thing. So then it's just like, no one really knows what's going on because they're all getting their source information from the same thing.
That lady needs to spin that ball and show people that it isn't the moon spinning. That's all I can think about while she's spinning
Yeah,
around
how
there.
can I make that shadow spin? I knew exactly what you were thinking
You can't
when
do
I
it by
put that
spinning
up.
the ball, lady.
But I wanted to put it up to say, hey, this is how the moon is supposed to work. And it still is. It's just we turned on our side, so therefore our perception's
We
changing.
are supposed to spin the same way as the moon orbits. And you're never going to see it rise in a different position if you're spinning the same fucking direction that the moon
Mm-hmm.
orbits, because you're always catching up to it the next day in the same fucking place. Well, that's why it's coming up, because we're actually seeing it move those 12 degrees every day in its orbit, because we're spinning like that now. And that's literally the only way you can make that happen.
Mm. Oh, he's all covered up and warm. Yeah, cozy. Did he do that?
No.
Oh, let's see, smart dog. Right. So to get back to that, is that's why most people don't know, because our information is the minority, and fortunately
Yeah,
with the Pharaoh cell, we have all this backing now and proof that it's just not more than just people saying this and that and not repeating and parroting. It's we
that's what
got
I
the
said.
proof now.
If all these big names want to call me names and crazy and stuff, please do. Because it makes people come and look. And once people look, you can't deny what the fuck is going on. Period. So I don't care how many people they have on their subscribers. I would like them to say stuff about me, but they don't. Not very often, because they don't want you to look.
Well, right. It's why those channels hide the moon, because the moon is the easiest thing, and that's
Yeah.
what how I plant the seed. I only use the moon because all you got to do is walk outside your house and look at it, and that's why I know Eric always preached that. But that's
Yeah.
why I'm sitting here showing a moon video to say people maybe look at that and say, well, wait a minute. You know, the
Yeah.
moon, that's what the moon's
Every
supposed to
night
do, but yet
that
I'm
thing's doing a
seeing a
180-degree
smile.
flip, and you should never see anything other than what she's showing you. Ever. Pretend her head's Earth and it's spinning on her neck.
Mm-hmm.
That thing isn't doing any flips. Okay.
Trying to think. I got to.
But when you start doing this, it does. Start bending over. Bend over, touch your toes. The whole computer flips, the screen flips, the moon flips. But if you're spinning side by side, it would never flip. That's
Right. So
physics.
you put
That's
something on the
that's.
side and you start
I
spinning counterclockwise.
Yeah.
What's
See,
everything else gonna do?
she's using that
Go the
animation
other
that
way.
NASA put out that's on Wiki to explain exactly what you should be seeing. That's the beautiful thing about
Right.
the internet, because, and the fact that, I mean, the moon's been there for since we've been looking at the sky pretty much, and it's never flipped. So these people that come off with these reasons that it is normal, you go look it up and you're not going to find anything. I've been there looking.
There is
See
one
that?
website that tracks the moon. There is one that tracks the moon. I don't. I mean, I can find it here real quick, but it does actually track it. Someone showed me. I had seen it, but and someone else just showed it to me. I think it's.
Stellarium shows it flipping every night as
Yeah,
if
it's
it's
like.
normal, kind of like Eric Briggs.
I think you really only got to search moon phases. As far as I'm at, moon giant, moon connection. It's like I can't remember it.
Well, the crescent horn moon
Time and
is
date.
actually an equatorial moon.
There, it's timeanddate.com.
That's why the Middle East has the moon as a crescent like that, because it rises like that every night in the Middle East. It should. It
So
should.
right here, how can we have a waning crescent if it should be the left side of the moon, not the bottom side of the moon?
Yeah, it never explains that it rises at the top and sets at the bottom.
Look at the bottom right here. They show
Yeah.
it correctly, but then you look up over here and it's showing it how it actually is
How
on the
close?
same website.
Yeah. time and date. Drives me nuts.
Timeanddate.com.
They make it look normal.
Yep. They track it.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe they're saying, hey, we see the moon do this, let's track it. And maybe not necessarily make it normal, but they're just saying, hey, the moon's doing this, let's track it. Nobody else is. Let's be different.
Yeah, well, a lot of people will look at that and
It goes
see
either
that
ways, obviously.
they didn't say anything about it, so it
No.
must be normal.
Right.
That's the way they expect people to act. That's why the grid's still up, so they can do shit like this.
But there
But if
is,
you do,
we now know there's
you
one
go,
website that tracks it.
yeah, you go to the actual dictionary and look at or a navigational, like I've pulled up those navigational ones, and they'll show you for the northern hemisphere it looks like that, for the southern hemisphere it looks like that, and for the equator it looks like that.
Yeah. But it was
And
showing me
that's
a
how
northern
you know
hemisphere
where
from
you're
Florida.
at, north and south on the planet. That's how you used to be able to navigate with that moon. It was a north and south indicator. That's why they say the east west was a real hard thing to gauge, because it was the moon we were gauging with going north and south. That was easy. It's no longer easy because it's showing me going from North Pole to South Pole every night,
We missed any questions?
No.
Okay.
navigationally in my sky.
So, no questions anymore so far? I'm just throwing up MLSO. It's pointed at the sun. This is the only really the thing I look at, just because it's kind of interesting. Except for, of course, looking at the coronal holes. I'm curious about them. Yeah. This doesn't. It shows a lot of weird things. Have you ever seen this tool? You still there,
Yeah,
Eric? Okay.
yeah. No, I was reading uh, Heather's comment.
Huh?
She said it. They looked on Christmas and it looked normal. Well, thing is, if you
The
look
Big
two or
Dipper.
3 hours later,
Someone
Heather,
put
it'll
that
look different.
in the chat.
It's every night.
Probably.
It'll rise like this, and it sets. But half the
Uh,
night, it's looking semi-normal. Every night at
yeah, he's
rise, and
thinking,
if you
thinking moon.
look up in your city, moonrise,
Oh,
whatever
beautiful. The Big
city,
Dipper.
Yeah.
it'll tell you what time the moon's going to rise that night. Set your alarm and look east, or, well, wherever it's rising that day. It should be laying cup up or cup down, and then
Oh.
watch it throughout the night. It'll stand up and then it'll lay back down.
Hmm.
It
Hard to
does a
see
full
from here.
180 degree flip every night. It'll start top hump up and then it'll set hump down. And it's like every hour, it's like 12 or 15-degree difference from the last hour. Which, if you look at it hour to hour, it's not a big difference. Go out there and look 3 or 4 hours later. That sucker's definitely looking different.
Bouncing around like a madman.
Yeah, it is every night, truck. Every single night. Yeah, the Big Dipper, no. The Big Dipper, the Big Dipper's upside down when the moon's upside down. It just does it on a different cycle. Um, the reason the moon's upside down is because we're on the southern hemisphere, so we're going to see everything upside down. Some of the stars that we're used to seeing at some points aren't even in our sky at some points. And if people don't really know what they're looking at, it's kind of hard to tell. Hey, that's the Southern Cross, folks. And we shouldn't be seeing the Southern Cross in Colorado. It just shouldn't be doing that. So, yeah, the moon is really a distinguishable item. to watch. The Dipper does odd things too, but sometimes at night it's rising right. But if you look at the moon, it's usually, I mean, like right on with the Dipper and Orion too. When it's tilting, they're tilting too, and you can see that. But yeah, I have to look at the moon, even myself, to even orient where the stars are. And sometimes, like this whole week, the moon has been upside down, but it's been upside down in the daytime, and there ain't no motherfucking stars in the sky.
Right, right.
So it's doing it on different cycles. So you got to catch it when it's just right, and it's hard to do. It's hard. That's why I put out that one video for a couple of days, and I was like, it stopped. You got to watch the moon now when the moon's upside down and your sky's upside down. That was like two videos after that I had made pointing out the Dipper ones, and I think that ran for a week. The Dipper did was coming upside down, and then we phased out of that phase again. And now, like I said, now that it's upside down in the daytime. So you can't see the damn fucking Big Dipper. So
Right.
it's not helping much. Well, it looks like it's been cutting off because it has been, Ron. Um, when there's no the human frequency is, this is our ionosphere and this is our magnetosphere, and the human frequency is here, and it's trapped. It's what they call trapped frequency. Well, when those pole lines disappear like what we're seeing on GOES, so does the human frequency. It's no longer trapped. So that's what you're seeing on that.
Well, that big data gap we had recently didn't line up with the loss of the northern polar cap lines, because I
And
was
they have
they were
data gaps too.
well, you can't see the data gap now that was there, but basically timing wise from when we lose, well, as you saw earlier just a few hours on
Well,
S1 now, we lost the northern cap lines, but there's no data gap in the Schumann resonance.
the resonance itself goes away in the monitor. You can see the resonance itself. The squelch stays because that squelch, that's the magnetosphere compression that
Yeah,
that shit right there.
but I think there's confusion with the data gap, which is just a black area,
Oh, oh,
as the same
yeah. I
thing
don't
as
know
when the
why they're
polar
data
cap
gapping.
lines. See, to me, that's meaning the website didn't receive the information from the sensors, so therefore it couldn't display anything. But the website
Yeah.
still continues to do what it displaying everything, the page, and to me, that's a data loss between the sensors and the website.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know they were having the blank spots.
Yeah, there was a, so I think there's confusion. So I looked at, and we just saw there was no northern cap lines, and there's no black area
Okay. Yeah,
currently.
but the
This
human
is
itself is.
right, but it's not the black. This is current right here. It's gonna fill in to the right,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I've got.
So they're having data gaps.
Yeah, it's a data gap between the sensors and the website.
I
If
don't
the
know what's
website was
happening with
down, you
that
wouldn't be able to
gap.
get to the web page at all. I'm trying to see. I've got a folder with pictures, but they're hidden. Get Streamlabs back up. Um, Let me uncover you. um, I don't know if I have a. I should have a data gap in here. Rhythmic pattern.
Yeah, well, Ron, they're that those that equipment isn't really ready to
Cold.
see. I don't think
Freeze.
what it's seeing. It doesn't understand what it's seeing, um, and it kind of geeks
There you
out.
go.
It whites out when it starts seeing magnetic compression going on. Um, I don't know what they're even using to see the Schumann or monitor that, but it's obviously picking up the magnetic compression more than anything. So when it starts spiking out, all those readings that you're looking at are, in my head, pretty much a moot point. I couldn't even, I don't think they're giving you anything accurate during those spikes, except for the fact that it's spiking on all frequencies. Because the magnetosphere is being compressed and it's being forced into a higher frequency. Um, as far as the data gap, so I'm not sure. Uh, I'm not sure what's going on in their system.
What is it
It,
called that
it
you
might
said?
be overloading
February
their
something?
computers for
VFW,
all I know.
VFW
I don't know
681 or
what.
whatever, 618. But yeah, see, here's a data gap where the graph just basically doesn't get filled. Like it's not receiving the information, so it it still trucks on and does what it needs to do until it starts getting the data, and then it will start displaying
But it
it
looks
again.
like it's got another one to the right again.
No, because the graph fills in this way
Okay.
to the to the right. It starts. It displays 72 hours mostly, but then they'll back it up and cut out 24 hours, so it only shows 48, and then it fills in from 48 to 72, and then they shift it back and cut out 24 hours and fill in 48 to 72 again, and then boom, back down to 48, 72 again. That's the way they do it. So this is a data gap, and this is just it. It has the tool. It's
Okay.
only 11 p.m. or not. That's 9 p.m. So it's got
It
three
hasn't
more
filled in
hours,
yet.
and then it's gonna
Okay.
chunk back, cut 24 hours out, and only show 48, and then every hour it fills into the right.
Okay. Yeah, I don't watch it too much. I know what it's doing from watching Goes because I understand
Mm.
what Schumann is. I can tell you what the Schumann's doing from watching Goes, pretty much.
But yeah, yeah, you're definitely right in that with Schumann's experiments was the loss of Schumann is where people start feeling symptoms, and I've always heard that they actually display the Schumann resonance in the space station so that they get it, so they don't have issues. Because I guess in maybe early missions that they didn't know about it, so it was a problem.
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe that's why some of the moon footage was missing. They ate it. I don't. I don't know. They're hanging streamers from the back of the rocket. I'm not sure what was going on up there.
Telling me I watched Ricky Gervais yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. The Golden Globes this year, Ricky Gervais, that was hilarious. Uh, I'm trying to find. Well, that's the orange spot. It was good because he like basically threw it all out there that there's shit going down and nobody's paying attention. The celebrities are nobody. It's funny.
Yeah, Chuck, this is some dead serious shit. This is some dead serious shit. Nobody's talking about it.
I'm trying to find a good um, electric haze photo that shows it down low and right over top of our head, even though you generally can't see it.
Cherenkov radiation.
Uh, well, there you go. This is good enough.
This shit's real, baby. It's
Well,
blue, real blue. So's oxygen.
it doesn't quite show it.
Did a video.
Well, you can see the shadow lines the shadows from the wave clouds, but you can see in between the shadows where it's white. That's the light shining on the Cherenkov radiation, aka electric haze.
Mm-hmm.
This is, generally you only see it along the horizon as this,
Yeah,
because
it's over your head
basically
now.
what you can
Look
see
at it.
very well is from here down, because it's thicker along the horizon, because we see more atmosphere, and why we see the sun and moon magnification low on the horizon. It's just an illusion. But this color shines there because the electric haze is there. It didn't
Yeah.
do this 2 years ago. and
No,
and
it
so
didn't. If
it
you look all around, it's all around
it
us.
it does this every day. It, well, in the summertime you'd see the haze.
Oh, okay.
Not at 30 degrees or 20 degrees outside, there would be no haze. It would be nice, because that's why all the astronomers, they'd all go in the wintertime and pull out their telescopes, because then the atmosphere is the clearest. So that's
I
why.
haven't watched these videos yet. 333, not from today.
So when you'll see this almost every day, if it's not too cloudy, but basically you'll see this is an evening picture after sunset. So right after sunset, look east, and it'll start pink, and then it'll fade to more purple, and the pink will rise, but then eventually all the color will head east, and then you'll see, as Horus is setting behind our sun and behind the mountains in the horizon, that light moves east, just like the yellow sun does normally, but the light from Horus does the same exact thing. It moves, you'll see the color after yellow sets. This is where you'll see this, because then Horus is still up a little bit. So his light is now shining over top of our sun, because it's behind the horizon now.
Behind the horizon.
So it's pink. It'll start pink, and then the pink will go up, and then it'll be purple. Like you can see it here. This is kind of midway. You got good purple down here. The mountains will be pink or purple, and then it moves. Of course, just like the light from our sun, it moves to the west, and then you have your pink sunsets at where the sun sets. So it started in the east, goes to the west. In the morning, it does it the opposite, but you got to look before sunrise.
Yep.
The pink will start in the east,
It
and
does.
then move west, and then as the yellow sun rises, it goes away because it covers it up.
Okay, where are you at?
All right, I got a
Yeah,
little
like
issue, so I'm gonna let
sunrises are awesome.
Eric take over for a minute. Go ahead, Eric. We got a little phone call issue we're gonna take care of with. It's our kids, so gotta handle it.
Okay. I could throw on some share screen, I guess, huh?
All right, we got it resolved. My
Oh, you're
son's trying to pick up my daughter, and
No,
okay.
so and it was like, "Where is she?"
Well, if
You
you
know,
need
he's
to go, I'll
no,
share a screen or something.
no, we're good.
I always got. I can show them a giraffe.
See, mine is the blue elephant for the blue magnetic signature on Iswa.
Boy, it's a big blue elephant.
The elephant in the room that everyone ignores. You know the
I
saying.
know. No one talking about it. No one talking about the moon. You can't even get them to. I've tried for years and years and years and years. Tried to get Ben Davidson. Tried to get Max Egan and fucking George Norrie and all, and then every YouTuber you think of. I mean, there isn't anybody I didn't go to try to get to talk about the moon. It's the biggest.
Biggest
You
sign
ain't
in the
even got to
sky
look at
that
this wall to
everyone
see it.
can look at. Yeah, everyone can look at it.
It's a big white elephant in the fucking room. Nobody's talking about.
she took
And it's. You know what it is. It is what it is. Our government has a huge complex built around giving people bad information.
I mean,
They
yeah, we
made
got
it
an uphill
legal
battle,
to
that's for sure.
propagandize us. They made it legal to do
Mm.
it.
That's why we
Literally.
start with the moon, because no one can deny it. It's the
Yeah.
simplest thing, you know. There's no scientific experiment needed. It's just go outside and look at the moon 3 hours apart, and you're gonna see 60 degrees of rotation. It's as easy as that. They don't want to see it, and they don't want to. You show them pictures, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool," and they change the subject. Well, guess what? It's time to move on and maybe change the subject because they really don't care. So you just
Yeah.
you move. Not really saying you move on to the next person, like we're trying to recruit people, but if you get the opportunity to show somebody else, and you show them, and you show them that it's curving around, and they just like and they don't care, then move on. Don't
Yeah,
waste any
truck.
more
It's a
time on them
total
because they're not listening
attitude thing
anyways.
with people going on. Every time I go out, I'm looking at it. It's
I showed a coworker the other day, an ex-cop, and he saw this what they were doing about in dumbing down the cops, and he's like, "I'm out of here." He was just basically the situations. He was just noticed that things are
yeah.
changing, and he didn't really like how things were going, so now he's a utility locator. Got out of it.
All you got to do is simply Google cops low IQ, and up comes several thousand hits. They've taken it to court where it's legal that they only hire lower IQ candidates. And they say that it's because
They want
higher
obedience
IQ people get bored with the job and it's a really high turnover rate.
because they
That's
ask
the
questions.
that's a literal excuse they say.
Because they want puppets.
So
Yeah,
that's honest to God why you have the low guys on the bell curve at school carrying around guns with orders to shoot anybody who doesn't obey orders.
Look at the
Is
cops.
crazy. They
mm,
military train them.
yeah.
And in that military training, they teach them that their life is on their line. They got to be hair trigger. They could go home dead. Fucking, you're the enemy. And it's like, then you can tell this shit's changed in the last 20 years.
They
It's
need
no longer,
protection against from us. I'm like, why do you're the one with the gun, why would you need protection from me?
yeah, they come in and shoot you. And you had a cell phone and nobody pays any mind. Who
They
gives
say,
a fuck?
yeah, for the officer's protection, they're doing it. It's like,
He should have thrown himself to the ground or whatever.
I saw a story today, and I mean, I don't know if it's true, but it was a person who was afraid of being shot, so he was actually laid down on the ground and on his back and had his hands up, and according to the story, they still shot him.
Yeah, I saw
A
that.
couple weeks
And it
ago.
was,
Yeah, that's real.
My uncle.
Seamus, walk your dog.
I'm
Okay.
listening.
My
Thank
uncle
you.
who
She's trying to break in. Yeah, I've been stared down a few times every time I go outside truck.
was
Ain't
being
nothing you can
forced to
do,
have
man.
because he didn't.
They're going, like I said, these
Hmm.
dude, they're
Right.
losing
That's
their
what I'm
human
saying.
frequency. Just keep it calm in
That's
your
his
heart. Don't
story.
get caught up in it. It's going to be hard. This
It's
is
not
what it
my
looks
story to
like.
tell.
This is
I'd
how
have
it
to talk to
Turn the
him.
starts.
microphone.
No, I mean
Um,
of him. Oh, okay. Well, here.
What?
Listen to this.
What?
Just talk. This is a story about police.
My uncle was the chief of police in Illinois. He was the arresting officer of John Wayne Gacy. Beautiful
mm,
career, very highly regarded, and was. I thought he retired just because he was aging out and it was time to retire. I found out he was forced to retire because he didn't want to do what they wanted him to do. As
yeah,
so he left.
yeah. The good ones have left. The good ones have
Because
left.
they'd rather leave than be stuck in
Because they
That's
see the signs, and it's like, no, I'm not your puppet, and this is not right. And
Yeah, they have the right to disobey an unlawful order and cause prosecution on the person that gave the unlawful order. And they have to get rid of people that know anything about lawful anything. They just follow orders. And these are our sons and daughters out there. We glorify the cops and the army and all of them. And they are not what they tell you they are. They want your boys in the army now so they can send them away because they got boys from other countries waiting for them to leave, waiting for them to get your guns so they don't have a problem coming in and slitting your throats. And that's real. Now, I
Well, what
maintain we got it in our hearts to fight this. So, shouldn't be need for any guns. All we got to do is lay them down.
well, we're at 12 viewers. Woohoo!
Howdy, new folks.
We're at
We
your
got
numbers
Patches.
now.
Hi, Victoria.
Taylor still gets recruitment letters, even though Ann gets
Patches is trying to break in.
recruiters talking to him at school.
She's like, I hear you down there. I got to poop.
Mhm.
Seamus.
Hey, Victoria.
Go yell at my kid.
Okay, I can keep us
No, you're
going.
not late, Victoria. We're still here. I haven't even blown any glass.
Nope.
I couldn't hear anything anyways if I was. I need to go up there and make sure he's walking his dog. Oh, he's going, I think. Are you walking your dog? Do what?
Trying to see if there's anything good websites that you guys may not know about this site, but it's a neat, interesting site.
Oh, you're playing games?
Livemeteors.com.
You need to walk the dog.
Uh,
Our dog doesn't need to go
Thank
for a
you.
walk. He's passed out.
yeah.
He's in hibernation.
Imagine that. He's playing games.
Oh, what game?
So, Eric, this is a little tool that's basically shows you meteors entering.
There's a question.
Oops. I mean, it's a narrow band, but there's always some little anomaly on here.
Oh, the meteor tool.
Hmm.
That's true, Ron, but that's not such a hard thing when you're both sides. The U.S. is both sides to these wars. We're the aggressor to ourselves. We made ISIS. We fund ISIS. We still to this day fund, arm, train ISIS. And we just killed a general that killed ISIS. If we would stop, it would stop. That's all we got to do. We got Crown Vatican DC Corporation that begins at home. There is no both sides to this war. That's we're the war. We are the war. See, we allow Washington D.C. to do what they're doing,
Yep.
and if we stopped it, it would stop.
See, I kind of look at it as I try to filter that all out, and it's because to me it really doesn't matter in this time where we're at now. I mean, 10 years ago
Well,
they made a different
we're all
story.
facing Nova,
Right.
and
So
Mom needs us all.
right. So I try to ignore a lot of the news going about just about events
Yeah.
and because just try to focus on showing people that we need we need more people.
I've been showing them how to read and stuff. That's. I'm hoping it spreads. I mean, it's a good message. It's just we gotta stop being or letting a few people do this to
Yeah, I
us.
know.
And we're doing the best we can, getting the information out there. People are learning how to read these ancient languages. They're learning how to think for themselves, for God's sakes, and look at what's going on. And slowly it's waking people up. Unfortunately, it's not doing it by the billions.
We got to teach them to filter the noise too.
Yeah, well, that's the aggravation right there. Is all that noise? It's
You
like I
know,
said, what do you do with it? People throwing eddy currents and field rotation, all these terms out that nobody even understands, and they don't go look it up. It makes them feel comfortable that, oh, okay, it's just an eddy current. Well, what the fuck causes an eddy current? you
two
know,
magnets.
they don't even know this. This, oh, it sounds like a familiar term and it's harmless, and that's all they register in their heads. And if you actually look at what causes an eddy current, like you did, and you come back and it's like, yeah, it's direct fucking feed to something there. It's a physical object. It's a short fucking circuit, for lack of a better word.
Well, we
You
got a
know, but
question
it's
from 333.
hmm,
Stacked magnets behind us. Do you think there is a war in heaven, like good behind mother, opposition up front? No, not in that sense. It's not good and bad. Like a war like that, I mean, it's a maneuver of magnetic fields, more like
yeah.
chess.
Um,
It's
I
not really a
know
battle.
Lee gets into the darkness, and yeah, these planets are actually, like I said, the all right, the planet Heaven, which is what everybody's referring to as Neberu, is mom's relative. It's like her aunt or niece. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at speaking our language yet, but I can get the fact that she feels very strongly towards that planet. It's alive too, um, and apparently related to her, and she loves it. So, and it's in
That's
front of
because they were
us.
trying to avoid the,
Um,
you know,
the ones behind us,
sex
Ra
trafficking and crap.
is
Trying to separate themselves
her
from it.
original son. That kind of makes her dad or father or whatever, small f, small d. And Horus apparently was her son, her moon, at one point, and grew up.
Well, I
That's
just
this
said
how
that.
the story goes. That's what I'm
That's what I
looking at on
thought.
the rocks. Horus used to be her moon. When she told me,
Bet you people are
gave
like,
me a
what was
picture of
that?
our moon,
There's a
she
blanket wrapped
told me,
around
she
behind
says,
us.
I do not recognize that as my own. And that's the word she used. And I was like, why would those words? And then I started looking into the
Let's see if
Egyptian
somebody
shit
says
and I
something.
ran into the Horus myth or whatever. And I was like, oh, I get it. Because, like I did the video, suns aren't what they say they are. One, it's that torrid field running a induction furnace, basically.
And by the way, that was not a ghost that walked behind me. If anybody saw that, it was just the dog. He was covered up in a blanket because the wifey shaved his hair off, so now he's cold.
I'm sorry, you were there shaving him with me.
Hmm. See, it's just they're kind of talking about how the Meghan Markle and her beau split from Meghan Mark. I don't know their names. Basically, I guess some of the sons of or whatever relatives of the crown or the prince or whoever separating themselves, and I'm like, yeah,
Prince
there's
Harry, Meghan Markle.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are
Yeah,
separating
there
themselves
seems to
from
be
the
some
royal family
eviction going
because
on.
the sex trafficking information is going to come out, and they're trying to separate themselves. But I'm using that as an example to say is something to me that it has no bearing on what is going on because that information is coming from the Vatican and it's all
Yeah.
part of the game and it's all just to say the people that are interested in that to keep them busy and distracted of what's going on, and the agendas they pull with the fires all over Australia, especially all the crap they've been saying about that. Camel farts, they're farting too much, so we need to go
Fucking
turn around. The Aboriginal leaders are suggesting that we go kill these camels because they're farting too much and drinking too much water. That's just to keep everyone fighting over and not paying attention to what's going on. So I always really try hard to just not even pay attention to that stuff. But of course, when you get sucked in sometimes, people have added me, and I get to looking at their feed, and I come on there and start talking at them, and like, why are you over here berating my post? I'm like, well, it is a public post, and you invited me to be a friend.
You invited me.
Sorry, I gave my opinion on your public post. Guess what? Now we're no longer friends.
Yeah, John, that sounds like my day on Facebook. And then everybody turns you into a monster.
No, I haven't really had that issue. It actually happened today where someone blocked me just for really just no reason. I guess he didn't like an answer on one of his public posts that, so I had just said one word, and now all of a sudden all my notifications for that post are gone, and I can't find that person, and I can't message him on Messenger, and I'm like, well, there's my first block.
I didn't even notice, but he blocked me when I unfriended him. So I'm pretty sure he blocked you because he knows you associate with me.
Koalas can be a little angry, You piss them off. They got some claws.
I unfriended him because I didn't want to fucking. You saw what he's posting. Of course, you saw what he's posting. He's fucking posting a bunch of mainstream bullshit. And you know how I am about that. What am I going to do? I'm going to jump all over fucking Brandon. You know what I did? I was like, Brandon, I can't watch this. I got to let you go. And I let him go off my feed. And then apparently he blocked me, and then he blocked you today. So he must have forgot about you.
Yeah, because that's all I did is I just said Anunnaki. Because his post was, where do you think religion came from? And I just posted Anunnaki. And now all of a sudden I'm blocked. So, it'd been nice to be able to follow him. He knows what's going on. He's just choosing to be distracted, I guess, and with his...
Yeah, well, I blocked him on YouTube today because of that shit. I just told him, look, man, I think the brother's lost. And I've been told I've got a job to do anyway. So we'll run into each other, I'm sure. Like I keep saying, I ain't even so sure that stone, I still don't see anything that stone has anything to do with anything. It's all about the heart.
Right. It may just be a distraction story.
And I've done all of this work here without a stone. Mm-hmm. I've contacted hundreds of tribes. I've gone down to the Navajo Nation and actually made some headway with them. I've gotten through the Hopi and shit, and all these people were gathering at the Hopi land. I did all this shit without a rock. I don't think the rock has anything to do with it. I think it's
to prove it to the Hopi
people what's going on. See, that's what I think is really weird, John, because look at it. Every time I turn around, somebody's telling me they're having a gathering out there in the Hopi land. They're doing something. They're just keeping me out of the loop, and I'm cool with that. I don't need to be in the loop as long as people are gathering.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested to find the articles that somebody talking about 20,000 people moving from Washington to Arizona, or it was Oregon or wherever. Either way, northwest of. I think that would be newsworthy. I think something will be written somewhere.
You'd think.
Well, maybe a little early still is what I mean. Maybe 6 months down the road. I don't think they're all moving right now.
You would still think
they're going to be kind of a trickle.
Kind of a big hub. there's a lot of people know about it out that way. You would think it would have actually made it into the papers, but it hasn't. I've been looking too. I've been talking to the tribe. They haven't moved yet, but they're packed. They're getting
Right.
packed. A lot of their people are actually packing.
That's what I was saying. 6 months from now, we may find something like that.
Yeah, a couple months, I
But
imagine they'll be out there, because I've let them know that the Navajo are, willing to receive their family too. So,
a neat little experience that I've had recently was, as you you were going along when you were meeting with the Navajo and stuff with the billionaire president. Had to throw that in there.
I
But
know, right?
I was talking to my mom because I have two Navajo Indian foster sisters, and I haven't
Hmm.
seen them since over 30 years. One I've never seen as a that I remember. I was young. Um, but the other one I was at her wedding, and it's you were going doing the meeting, and they're on that time frame. I was looking into all that stuff when I talked to my mom. Basically then the one I'd never met, had talked to my mom, had just contacted my mom, and my mom hasn't talked to her in years. Like, had no contact number or anything. And now all of a sudden she contacted my mom,
Uh-huh.
and now because I asked her my mom a question, she's like, "Well, blah blah, Sue, your foster sister, just found me, gave me your number, and here you go, here's her number, and I told her that you were asking about things and she's willing to talk to you." So I'm like, I've just basically been given a Navajo Indian's phone number that I have a tie with, and I just feel compelled to call her, but I'm like, what am I gonna say to this person? Sue or Pauline? Pauline. Sue is, well, either one. Pauline's the one I was at the wedding at, but the Sue is the other one we hadn't had contact with. So I'm like, should I call her? I mean, I just got basically she told my mom, yeah, like she's expecting my call, and I'm just like, what am I gonna say? Sue.
So, hey, hi. Have you met
Yeah.
Ra?
Did you know my friend Eric was just down there talking to your president, your billionaire president? And what do you know about that?
Hell yeah. Oh, she's down in Window Rock.
She's on the reservation. I don't know where. They've, like Pauline, I know she's been down on the reservation because I was at her wedding when I was probably 9 or 10.
That's Window Rock.
So
Yeah.
it was somewhere south of Flagstaff. Is
Mm.
where somewhere around Flagstaff is where we were.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but it was neat to say, well, that just kind of all fell in place to be able to talk to Sue, one of
That's cool.
them, without even like
Yeah.
really prompting much.
Give her a call. See if they're going to Hopi.
Yeah, so that's really what I'm looking for, is like, what should I say to her?
I hear y'all got a Ark of the Covenant.
Well, Lee's going to be releasing that soon.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited about that. Like I say, that's one of the first things he and I talked about was the
Yeah,
Ark of the
well,
Covenant and how it creates the Lazarus seat. He's like, I'm doing a film on that. I was like, good. I can't wait. It's been a couple months now, man. I still waiting. I can't wait. Yeah, Window Rock is their reservation. I've been there. I took pictures. I got to go back. I've been invited back. He told me I got to come back twice. And Mama told me I got to go back. I was like, all right, I'll go back. Not today, though. I tell you, Truck, man, I make these videos so you guys can give them the videos and then laugh at me and tell them I'm crazy, but I offer $100 on to
Yeah.
prove me wrong. So get to it. And then when they can't, see, the only problem then is
See you later, Rick.
you become the dumbass for calling me crazy. Have a good one, Rick.
Stream is much more calmer
Mm-hmm.
than his videos.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I said
But
that.
yeah, the only drawback is
Yeah.
you're the dumbass for calling me crazy because the moon shouldn't do cartwheels. Where they
No, the dumbass showed himself.
That's what I'm saying. Taking my video takes the crazy right off of you,
But I
puts it
gotta.
all over me.
I gotta stop calling. I gotta. That's a bad habit of that. I gotta stop calling. Well, the dumbass didn't. You know. It's the school
Well,
systems. It's the school systems, really, because of the information is taught and not retained. And
yeah,
I mean, that's just not a
that's
good habit. Good emotion, hard emotion to have. But that's I always just revert to like driving now. Is weird. Is like I've learned more to be more calm and all this and that. But with like an idiot on the freaking road does something, the first thing to do is, fucking asshole.
well, yeah.
I haven't been.
What
It's
else you
like,
gonna do?
but 6 months ago it would have been like, man, I wouldn't even have cared. But it's like now that I became more conscious about things, it's like my subconscious things come out even faster. And I gotta remember to stop doing that.
John's gonna have himself some road rage.
No, because I'm always in a company vehicle, so I can't do shit. I gotta keep my nose clean.
You better.
Well, now they got GPS tracking in the vehicle, so
Don't be pulling a Kendra.
go on, you know.
Still driving cop cars through red light cameras, flipping them off in a Grinch suit.
Well, there's nothing illegal. Oh, yeah, okay, I remember now. You were joking with her on that.
I don't do that. My road rage has gone away.
Yeah, you transferred it to me. So, does anybody have any more questions?
I didn't transfer it to you.
Yeah, we did. We became more connected, so it transferred over to me.
So I no longer have road rage, and now you have it.
Yeah.
'Cause I've
But
risen above.
It's more just a thought rather than I really act out. It's just like just thinking. I'm like, oh, he's
What are you
not
doing?
good.
Nothing over here for you. He's like, did you throw food?
Yeah, remaining calm is going to be key, and it's going to be hard to do because we're losing our shooting frequency. Everybody losing the shooting frequency around you. That aggravation you're seeing in them, it's going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get real bad.
And you won't be able to play a 1748 without electricity
Nope.
for very long. I mean, everyone could have it on their phone, but eventually there's no power. All your batteries are going to die. So you've got to be able to do it yourself.
Make that magnet strong in your chest. Relax it.
Be able to pull the energy from mom. To keep your shield up.
Well, some of this hash in particular, you would have to go to the station in Rocky Ford and purchase. Tell them Catfish sent you. They got pretty good prices on it, and it is good hash. It is sweet like freaking cotton candy, sugary deliciousness.
Why does it take Tyler forever to go to McDonald's? I don't understand.
Maybe because he's just staying out because we're doing this.
Or he's chatting with people at McDonald's.
Maybe. Huh.
Saw some
Mechanical
road
thing.
rage going on today, huh, Truck?
I've
That's
never
good.
actually seen that. Like people get out the car and start fighting. I have not seen that yet.
For
Only in Russia.
Only in Russia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you get it sucked in the YouTube train and watching that stuff.
you haven't lived yet, then, John.
Just three jelly beans. Someone will get out with that.
Yeah, my wife would just drop jelly beans out the window and piss him off
Not
that way.
drop, throw.
Whatever.
Dropping means I accidentally. Throwing means I purposely meant to hit them.
So
Wait a minute. Yeah,
So
that's good.
does
I
like
don't
any,
know. I don't know if throwing jelly beans at me would really piss me off, though. I, I might crash. I would be laughing, so I'd be like the fucking Easter Bunny. Oh God.
An accomplice violated.
yeah.
I'd probably like somebody throwing jelly beans at me, man.
You really want to get angry? I would do. Well, I don't know if I should say this. Give this idea, but it'd be pennies.
Oh my God.
Jelly beans, they can't sue you over.
So don't do that. Do not throw jelly beans out your car windows at drivers behind you because you're mad.
The spiking, not so much. It's the lack of the Schumann frequency. But I'm sure we're lacking the Schumann frequency when them spikes are going on anyway, because we're catching the
Yeah, because they're being covered,
magnetic
overlaid,
front.
right?
So the lack of the Schumann frequency is going to that's your alpha waves gone. That's where you need to maintain your calm in your chest. Um, physically, you know how you feel when you're calm. Just feel it. You got to feel calm in your heart, and that's gonna relax your magnet and help you maintain your Schumann without the earth doing it for you.
Ping pong ball.
Throw pennies at me, I might get pissed. But jelly beans, I'm cool with that. I might catch one.
You can't get sued over jelly beans, but you can over pennies.
Hmm.
Those French fries.
So is anybody like confused on what's going on?
Fries!
Hey.
Sorry.
Yeah. 333.
Probably not. Most of these folks have been doing homework, watching Scientific Lee.
Yeah, I mean,
Listening to my stupid ass while I'm blowing glass every day.
so
Talk about Scientific Lee.
so what I gotta do with Lee is I gotta go back through his videos because I watched a lot of his videos well, listened while driving. So there's a lot I've missed. So I've got to go back through them again
And watch him again.
and watch
Yeah,
them
he
again
made a
so I can
couple. In the
pay
last couple
attention.
days, he's made another one or two I haven't seen yet. He released
Well,
maybe 2 days ago I hadn't seen yet.
I'll show you what he's talking about. He called it somebody's prophecy from the Bible, Isaiah's
Yeah, it's gonna be
prophecy.
the end of the world as we know it.
But basically, his other one was he showed two magnets what they look like in space, and it was that exact same signature I showed you on Enlil a long time
Okay.
ago, right there.
Yeah.
The two, he stacked two barrel magnets and showed that the two halo waves. So basically, that's what he was showing, two halo waves, and it was a constellation, not a constellation, a pulsar. He showed a pulsar with double halo waves. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I saw that same exact thing on Enlil, and and it was only up for like 2 hours. Then they shut down Enlil for 24 hours, and then they brought it back up, and it wasn't there anymore. But I captured
And
it.
wasn't there.
Is there a way we can tell when things are going to be latently
Good
obvious
night,
to the
Ron.
masses?
Everyone always asks that question. I think I already know that was in the group. Some say, well, I'll let Eric answer that question.
What's that?
Truck Dog, is there any way we can tell when things are going to be latently obvious to the masses? Well, the answer is now. Things are blatantly obvious, but most
Nobody
people are
has
not
direction.
looking.
Everyone knows something's going on, but no one has direction.
Right. Because they're all listening to those channels that are telling them the lies. While
Are
they
there
get
going to
paid
be
to do so.
signs before we see Ra? Now. When that bow shock started blowing away from the planet and she can't dip into it, she's not going to be able to keep the closed field lines. That's what that's going to look like.
In the front. He means in the front, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we're seeing that. We've seen like the outer field line disappear sometimes now. We saw that the other day.
That's why I say it's not going to be long. This is the year.
And that's the backside wind.
This is the year.
Kind of
you're going to see it.
Infiltrating the bow shock and weakening it some.
Yeah, exactly. It's already blowing out. And that, especially when you're reading the wind, there's no real fluctuations in the winds. And if it's even picking up heavier, why would the bow shock be blowing out from the fucking back and weakening? If it wasn't being blown out from the fucking back from a different solar wind. And the only reason that bow shock's there is because it's a buffer between our magnet. That's where the flow hits the magnet and begins to compress it. Well, if it blows it out past that doesn't have anything to do with our sun and what our sun's doing. That's something going on behind us.
Because the field's changing, so the field changes. The front of Earth's field changes.
And we're going to start falling behind these objects behind us at some point. What that looks like, when, I don't know. I'll keep you posted as best I can. But not long. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to be long. And I was in the grocery store again today and noticing they are spreading shit around just to make space.
Should ask my son. He's a stalker at Walmart.
They're not going to be able to keep food on the shelves very much longer. A couple months. People will start noticing. They'll start noticing they're getting hungry. They can't feed their kids. Price of meat going to go crazy because that's going to be the only thing left to eat because of beans and rice and shit. Those weren't very much of a harvest this year, coming on the back of empty grocery shelves. This is the year people are going to wake up to the fact that something the fuck is going on and it's beyond government control. They're going to see these things in their skies. The problem is our government knows. Our government's they're going to know before I would the day Ra's going to reveal itself. They're going to have us in martial law before that. I can tell you that for sure. That is the plan.
Readable people are already dying.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people died in the liquefaction event in Indonesia last summer? How many people died then?
50 people just died on an island in New Zealand when it exploded.
The earthquake in Puerto Rico, people are dying.
Yeah.
Stone construction. Third world countries where a third, a 5 for us is no big deal necessarily, but countries that have a lot of stone construction still, mud brick, a 5 is dangerous because there's no resistance to the earthquake. It just crumbles. Where we are very fortunate to have good construction now, but other people aren't. And like Eric said, the guy was surfing on his roof as it moved. That video
Swallowed
was there.
10,000
I've
people
seen that
that day.
video. That guy sitting on his roof as it's moving. Everything around him is moving, and he is moving.
I would expect something exciting to happen every day, personally, Regal. Um, those folks talking about the prophecy, let me ask you a question. Have they ever mentioned the moon is rising like this, rolling 15 degrees, and setting like that in a confounded manner? If they're given prophecy, they should be at least pointing to it in the sky.
The moon's a great indicator of if you're like he's saying that your channel that you're watching that's saying things are going on and they're not talking about the moon. The most
Yeah, if they're
obvious
not
sign. That's
talking
a
about the
clear
moon,
indication that maybe they're not giving you all the information. Talk about it in chat, and then if your messages disappear, like I know there are channels that delete the moon real quick. I haven't personally, but I've seen other people say. Someone was talking about Planet
welcome
X
back, Paul.
News. Maybe it was Debbie. She was posting about it, and they were removing her
Oh, man.
posts quick.
Yeah, they do.
To me, not to point out that channel, but that's a clear indication that you should not be watching them because
Yeah,
they're,
I post my trolls up top.
so what's their indication? Google that person who's running that channel. If you Google their name and the first thing that comes up is their Patreon account, maybe they're not there for you. The moon's a clear indicator. They're not talking about the moon, and they're not paying attention, so their information can't be very good.
I can't see the moon. It
No, I don't think it's up yet. I haven't checked.
ain't here. I don't know where Paul is.
You know, let's see.
And my moon ain't coming up till probably about 2 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, 1:21 a.m. for me. So it's not up yet. Another hour and a half. Wow, we went 2 hours and 15 minutes so far. I never expected we'd go that long.
Yeah, Revel, I've
Longer than that.
spoken with all of these YouTube gurus about it, from
2 hours, 17 minutes.
like I said, Rex Bear to what's his name? There, We Are Change, Luke fucking Skywalker, dude. I can't remember his name, blonde haired Luke, but all of them. I mean, Dutch learned how to read fucking the quake map from my Facebook, and we've had history. I keep trying to get him to tell people how he's doing it, and he doesn't. I don't think he even fucking is smart enough to figure out I'm right. I think he thinks I'm crazy, but I showed him the pattern that he uses. Regardless, I'm not wrong. I may be crazy. Yeah, that's yet to be determined. Although I did go through 6 months of mental therapy to prove I didn't have schizophrenia, so I know the voices in my head ain't my own.
Yeah, 333 Georgia Guidestone. Snow Fear is going according to plan. Well, yeah, because they know what's going on.
Yeah, they do.
Of course, that stone's going to be correct because they have the correct information. They have access to what's going on. We don't.
Well,
We got to do it the hard way.
The senator I was top investigator for was a state level senator. They knew when I started reporting that we were on our side. Uh, the senator's sister, his top, his is his like that's his first lady there. His secretary or personal assistant. She had all those titles. She was it. But she's the one that stopped me and interrupted my presentation and started telling me about the red sun coming in. She didn't even know about the blue sun.
Well, there 333. There is you probably saw it. There is one website that tracks it, the position the moon is in. For whatever why they're doing it, I don't know. To normalize it or just to say, hey, we noticed that it's doing it. Let's track it. We don't know.
They may change it um, to show or include the flipping moon. They may, but they haven't yet. And how are they going to do that to millions of websites that tell you how to navigate by the moon? They're just going to erase them. They're just going to take them all down. They might. I don't know. I don't think they're going to have to go to that extreme. Um, that moon's been flipping since 2010, and you guys are the only one noticed. you know. And if you stop and think about it, what was the first emotion that hit you when you saw me telling you about it? Before you went and looked, you's like, "Oh, this guy's crazy," and you might have thought I was crazy. But some people will have that thought and not go past that, never look. That's why I said I can't force people to look. But once you do, you'll understand because you know what's going on. It's that easy. And I wish everybody would look, but nobody's going to look.
There you
If
go.
they would have wanted to hide something, they would have blown up the fucking moon, man.
Here you go. Here is no. Here's a prime example of normalizing what is going on because they've included modern pictures of the clouds.
hmm
I mean,
they classified a jellyfish cloud and shit.
3 years ago, these pictures would have not had any of these waves, but they're actually. This is all energy flow. The
Yeah.
colors, everything, the way the clouds look, it's energy flow. But they are actually are like every picture on here is a modern photo. I mean, right here you can see the electric haze in this picture.
hmm
Right here along the horizon, and you can
Cherenkov
see,
radiation.
yep, the flow and the energy flow in the clouds. Every picture on here is a normalizing photo to make it the clouds look normal because these clouds look strange and they go and look up cloud types and guess what,
There it is.
there it is, and they're gonna say, well, that looks normal to me, this website says so.
Track it back past fucking 2015, 2014, 2012. Some of these clouds that they
that
classified,
that's
you
gonna be
can't
hard
find them
because
past that.
Google's filtering them out.
Yeah, you can't find them past that year.
And
They
here,
they never existed.
now there's a normal cloud on here, but those don't show much energy flow.
yeah.
A little bit of Horus's color. And look green. Wow. They did catch the moon off center. If I can, yeah, there you go. A little bit of Horus's color. Got even a little green in here, and then the moon's off to the pointing over at 10 o'clock, 10:30.
Yeah. Like I said, when you actually look, but that takes a lot more effort than some people are willing to put in. But when you do look, you see, and that's all it takes. That's why I say, it's not it's not my message. It's just there. Nobody's been paying attention to it. So I'm out here screaming, "Hey, look!" And I'm glad y'all looked. I really am because I mean, for years and years, nobody's been looking.
Yeah, this is something I noticed. They normalize in the clouds.
Yeah. Well, you also, I mean, on time and date right there, they normalized the moon being upside down when it rises.
Yep. And yeah, that
Looking
could
like
definitely go either
a
way.
Middle Eastern moon. That bothers me too, Truck. How stupid people have allowed themselves to get.
So that's what I'm trying to understand with these types of clouds that the energy is actually, well, we know it's
Me
going up.
either, Regal. That's good.
Mm.
That helps, man. That helps so much. When you just never fit in anyways, who gives a fuck what people think? I'm still going to point at the moon.
I was just thinking that maybe if there's, say, you're around a group of people and you decided you want to talk to somebody about the moon, go find the guy that's standing off by himself. The guy like me, like I'm consider myself a nonconformist. I mean, I do what I gotta do to support my family, but I don't follow a lot of society standards. And to me, I would be off by myself a little bit, just maybe listening to the crowd and listening, but not really participating. And, you know, that might be the person that you want to go talk to, if you really want to tell somebody because they're going to be open minded. And the guy that just sits back and watches and pays attention, that'd be your best choice because the 30 people standing in a group hollering and having fun together, they're not paying attention.
Yeah, they ain't paying attention. They
They're
don't
more
give a
worried
fuck.
about their Facebook and their Instagram status or showing
Yeah,
up for Mr. Getting the next best grill for your neighbor, showing up Mr. Jones or whatever it is. Keeping up with the Joneses.
yeah. Wrong people to talk to. I've talked to a lot of them too.
Hey, Jones, I got a better truck than you do now. Ha ha ha. My
I'm not
dick's still
afraid to jump
small
right
though.
in the fucking crowd and be like, "Look, the moon's upside down."
I mean, I had a hurdle over thanks Christmas. I actually talked to some of my in-laws, well, my sister-in-law's family in front of everybody, and everyone was sitting there listening. But I was really only kind of talking to two people, the grandfather and the father. That's who I went to talk to about it because I figured they might know more about how that understand the moon phases and actually understand what I was trying to say. Because I know
Yeah,
the
like the
younger
moon's
folks are
not
not gonna
supposed to do that.
listen to me. I just said younger folks. Yeah, I just said that. I just said the younger folks.
I'm still a younger folk, you old man.
They don't understand how the moon phases work, so they're just not gonna get it.
Yeah, yeah. It's the older folks, like your age and older, pretty much that have seen the moon not flip for too many years to realize that something's wrong with that shit.
I'm a
So
nonconformist.
that's
I
I
didn't.
was noticing my YouTube audience in general is as older than me. You know, we're and it struck me as strange. I was like, wow, why are all these older folks watching me? Because I didn't realize older folks, really got on. Because I never really got on the fucking online thing. So that's just what I had to associate with. But I didn't realize there were so many of us out there online. I thought there was just a bunch of kids out here. To tell you the truth, that's what surprised me the most. I was like, well, that just goes to figure, that we're the ones that noticed because I've seen that for decades. The moon not spin. I was trained how to use the damn thing to find a port in the dark under fire, and now I can't do it. you know, so I just I can only imagine it's us older folks that are gonna notice this shit. So it makes sense that my audience is older.
Well, our priorities are different when you get older, you know.
Yeah. Well, that too, but I mean, thing is, these kids, if you think about it, even if they're 20, they're they don't really look at the moon a whole lot before they're 10 years old. You know what I mean? Dude, most of their life that they've been cognitive, that moon's been doing cartwheels.
Exactly.
It's
Like my son, he was like, no way he would know that that was abnormal.
yeah. There's no reference for them.
Mm-hmm.
They all they've ever seen is the moon do cartwheels.
It's been 9 years, so it's normal to them.
Yeah.
But they're huge nonconformists, both of them.
Yeah.
And they hate how dumbed down everything's gotten
Yep.
in
But
school.
I don't know if you can hear her. Even my kids are noticing that things have been dumbed down in school.
They hate school.
Yeah.
I mean, they hate going because it's, you know,
Because it's ignorant. Yeah, I'm noticing that's a widespread thing. That's
and
on
it's
purpose.
pretty bad if the kids are noticing it. Certain kids,
Bro,
the intelligent kids are notice it.
yeah, that's what happened here. I pulled my son out and they made a better curriculum for him, and I let him back in.
Our son.
Yeah, you can't homeschool a doctor though. That's what he wants to be a surgeon. So
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. My boy, right now, like I said,
you'd have
dude.
to
I
do
mean,
high
shit.
school because that's where the college is. You'd have to do college, and the college would be looking at his high school career. So he'd have to do high school.
He's got towards college credits from working at home on off his Khan Academy thing
Yeah.
that keeps him registered and shit. Um, it's the same program they're using at his school. Part of the program they're still using that at his school,
Dual enrollment.
and he's in a different program too that's registering him college credits through the school now.
Yep.
So
Dual
he's
enrollment.
and he's getting and the best. I mean, A's and B's across the board, and he's graduating this year. So 3 years early, and I've been in and verified and talked to his teachers and his principals about all that. Just what uh, Wednesday. This is Saturday, so it was like 3 or 4 days ago. Talked to them about that because did a little checkup on how he's been doing since I put him in, and yeah, he's happy. He's back in school because his friend is there and shit. But I'm not. I've always homeschooled him up until he was 12. He's only 15 now, but he was acting way too old and bored, and I knew I had to do something else, and I figured, fuck it, man. We'll go out to this little tiny town. I'll put you in school, and we'll see how that goes. It's been crazy. I don't know what the hell I would have done if I'd have tried to be that all over fucking with 12 years of that bullshit. Good night, 333.
Yeah, Rebo, the light is hiding all my wrinkles.
And your gray ear hair.
Yeah, my gray eyebrows and ear hair. I've started having the barber trim my, not the barber, the hairstylist trim my eyebrows to hide it better. I'm not as fortunate as Eric yet. My hair is not darkening. My gray isn't going away.
I'm liking that. You know who my stylist is? I got this pair of dog clippers. I
I,
break out.
I did that for a while. I did it for a while. I even answered a Craigslist ad offering free haircuts one time because I was so broke because gas prices were so high and I was she and I were both commuting 75 miles almost. Well, I was every day, and she was about every other day because she had to go to a doctor. And for that summer, well, no, it was a winter of about 3 months. I slept in my Jeep every night, so I wouldn't have to drive home to have
Yeah.
money. It was $700 a month for two vehicles
To drive,
to
yeah.
drive. So I had to sleep in my vehicle in the winter, and I was a Boy Scout, so I wasn't cold. I knew how to do it.
Yeah, right after the accident, I was having to go up to Denver once or twice a week and re-up glass and shit. And yeah, dude,
Just stay out there and save the gas money. Yeah.
that shit was killing me just from the gas. But I couldn't do it with a 2 week wait in the mail to blow glass, you know. Had to do something.
Oh, thanks, Heather. Thanks. Yeah. Just don't tell on my non-saggy balls. Not that old yet. Ricky Gervais was just talking about his bathtub experience in his latest special. What was it called again?
Humanity.
Humanity, yeah. He's a the one my water I got. I lived in this nice house now, and my bathtub's deep. The water's 2 feet deep now. My balls were floating on top of the water.
Oh fuck!
Like it was on a hammock.
Thanks, Heather. For announcing.
I haven't got that old yet either. Thank God. That's disturbing.
Yeah, I'm sure they want to know that.
I'm still young. I can joke about you being old.
Here, let's turn this a little bit this way. Now the light's gonna get us. Here you go. There. There's Heather.
Hi, Heather.
Hello.
You guys can look at her pretty face for a little while.
God, that's a break. Oh shit! There
I know,
he
I'm an ugly motherfucker.
No. I don't think they want to watch me do my nails. It's not interesting.
Yeah, now she's being all shy.
I'm not being shy.
Oh, boy, that is some sweet hash.
I almost
Just
said
for
I have no gray hair.
you hash lovers
You
out
have
there.
more gray hair than I do.
That's just, I mean,
My hair.
Oh shit, yeah, that's some good hash. It's a good blonde motherfucking hash. These folks got some good hash out there at the station. Just to let you know. Damn. I haven't had some good sweet stuff like that in a while. That's just some really good stuff.
Well, I lowered my nicotine down to 3% from 6, so guess I'm gonna start working on
Is that
lowering it
what
down
you got,
more.
that vape thing?
Yeah. Cigarette replacement.
Yeah.
Nice, Reeble. Are they really supposed to, though?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm sorry. Here, I pushed the share the weed button.
We got
Holy
Kendra
crap,
in the
look,
house.
hi, Kendra.
Where Were you typing? I didn't see you in here. I didn't see any wrenches. Oh, you gotta type, Eric. Type one so I can make you a wrench.
What? What am I going to type?
Just type anything so I can actually make you a moderator. You don't show unless you type something
Oh.
in the list. No, I haven't made you one. Okay.
Congratulations, Kendra. Still haven't started smoking them evil cigarettes again, huh? That's good.
Human tissue is very much different. Because
Why
human
can't I do
tissue
it?
is
There
very
it is.
much like water in the way of density. Really just depends on every specimen. Some men's balls float, some don't.
Okay, did you all hear that?
No.
Heather was educating us on testicles. Here you go.
Oh, Christ.
It says some men have floating testicles and sac and some don't. Same rules apply because human tissue is very much like water in the way of density. It depends on every unique specimen.
Aha. So if your eggs float, you ain't got much hanging out in them. That's what
not.
they're saying. Because you ain't very dense
Yeah.
in the ball sack.
I always say lose it or use it. Or if you don't use it, you lose it.
Well, good. Mine haven't started floating yet. And I haven't used that shit in a long time,
Well,
man.
yeah.
They still sink like
man.
rocks.
You know, if you don't use it, you lose it.
You're not a friend of Rosie?
Oh, well, hey, man. I got a girlfriend.
You don't have to answer that.
Yeah.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Excuse me, y'all. I'm just
I already
jacking.
said that. Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Well, see, I like Rosie because she doesn't mind Lucita.
True. Yep.
If you want to switch up every now and again.
Yep. Hey, Kendra. That's just my personal opinion. If you don't use it, you lose it, and I think that's what happens.
If you don't use it, it's all back inside you and you get a vagina.
Yeah, literally. You could tell that some guys that they just don't use it because their pants are so fucking tight, and it's like, is there anything there?
No, they get a vagina.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I don't think he was in a cold pool.
Turns into vagina and then you get Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing in the disco days. I didn't like the disco days.
Tight pants, yeah.
Yeah, never got into the disco craze. Old John Revolting.
John Revolting. I never heard it said that like that.
That's just what I've called it.
Yeah. I've never heard anybody call him that.
Well, I remember his old days. I know where that motherfucker came from. I have nicknames for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an 80s child, but it's like 80s didn't really have much influence on me. It's more of 90s.
Yeah,
As a
I was
teenager.
pretty old in the 80s, though. I was out there killing people in 87.
I was raised Mormon, so I was very sheltered.
Yeah. I was pretty sheltered. I just got out a lot. I talked to other kids. We didn't have internet.
Internets.
At all.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
My generation started the internet.
Yeah. I ignored the internet.
We came up with the LOLs and the BBLs and the
All that bullshit.
TTYL and BRBs. We came up with all that.
And look what happened. It's all your fault.
Now it's all people can't type and they need emoticons to say the same thing. Gotta have a picture because they don't want to. It's too hard to type it. Too hard for BRB and LOL and BBL. ASL. I mean, come on. I know some people know ASL, age, sex, location from AOL. That
You
was the
know,
shit.
what's funny is, yeah, I do the little one that Kendra does. It's a colon capital D to get that little smiley
Hmm.
face. And it only shows up like that in this chat. It shows up like a smiley face.
Because although their chat programs, it'll convert it to the emoji.
Yeah, it does.
If there's no emoji, then it just does the type like I just did. That's like my classic smiley.
Yes, that's my sex emoji from you.
I've been using that for years. There's guys that know me by that smiley. Like my clan members from my online gaming clan, they know me by that smile. I always use that one.
Nice. It's,
That's like my verification of identity.
When you send me that, it's a sex emoji.
it looks
Yeah.
like a happy ant person.
It's just an 8 with the whatever greater
Eight.
sign and the
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's one term you won't see now, ASL, because all you gotta do is look at their Facebook profile now to find all that out. But like in AOL back in the day, there were no profiles. It was you had to ask.
That was your opening line. Age.
Yeah, that was the opening line. You're in a chat room. We're still in Virginia, but there was Virginians online. It was 3 chat rooms. That's where I met my wife, was from those chat rooms. That's all people there were chatting and hooking up on dates and stuff. And that's how you found, if the name was ambiguous and you weren't sure, you had to say ASL.
And women would go in and they'd put female.
Yeah, I still don't know what half of that shit means, man.
And then bra size.
Yeah. So the internet contributed to the loss of, well, my marriage. My first marriage should have never got married, but it contributed to at the end of, because she ran off and met some dude online, but it actually brought my second marriage together. So I dated her for my first wife for 4 years, and then 3 months later after we got married, we separated. Heather here, we dated 3 months and got married. So I did it the exact opposite, and it worked out much better.
Well, good.
You decided to get your younger.
I
wife
decided to
early
stop
on.
trying. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm about done with my nails, and then I can participate.
So where you been hiding, Kendra? Did you sleep in all day? I did. I slept in most of the day. They hypnotized you. Now you sleeping in the day too.
Yep.
Sleeping here in the day.
Clan members. Yep. That's what my online gaming groups call themselves, clans. In fact, right here. Here's my. Well, I'll close the window and reopen it. It goes still. My homepage still goes to my online gaming group.
To your online game.
Yeah.
What game
This is my
do you play?
website. I pay to have this website up.
What game do you play?
Halo. It's a multi-gaming clan, but yeah, this is my website. I own this.
What's your clan?
Combat Experts. It's one of the oldest online gaming clans still. Been around since 2003. So over 16 years. I took over in 2007.
16 years, Jesus Christ.
So I've been running that online gaming clan for
That makes sense because we've been married
12 years.
19.
Almost 13 years I've been in charge of this group. We're still around.
Oh my God, I've seen some of those kids grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Like Blake.
Some of these kids that I gamed with have seen my kids grow up. Now they're all, adults now. It's good to kind of still talk to them. Yeah, and they just finally released new Halo games for computer. They've always been on the console. Except for the original game, they put it out on PC, and that's where it got started. And they're just now released
What,
new
Halo?
PC games. Yeah, they're finally porting them over from console to PC.
And you
Yeah.
love playing on console,
Yeah, I hate playing on consoles.
especially
I've
with
never
remote.
played Halo.
It's one of those games you either love or hate, and I loved it. I was addicted. I was bad. I was like every free moment I had, I was on my computer playing. She would get mad at me. Hey, always gotta drag you off the computer. I'm like, well,
I still have to
I
drag
can't
you off
help
the
it.
computer.
Yeah, she still has to drag me off the computer. Just a new
Hanging
topic
pen.
now.
Actually,
Nice.
no, because now
Hanging
they're
pics of
portable.
those beautiful skies you got, Miss Kinder.
I saw a good feather picture. It was Impossible Channel. He put out a new video. It's got some great captures.
The Impossible Channel.
Yeah, the Impossible Channel. I mean, it's the guy doesn't know what's going on. He understands things going on. He says a lot of the usual distraction stuff, but
Yeah.
what people send him, he gets some great stuff. You know, from recordings of compilation videos from all over the world that people send him. It was a nice big feather, just like red clouds everywhere, and then all of a sudden there was this clear area, and then the feather was sitting right there below her. It was perfect, just like Kendra's but bigger.
Nice. And he was just, oh, this is a jellyfish cloud or feather cloud.
No, he doesn't really comment. He just plays the videos, and then he may comment like about one or two clips, and then but most of it is just him just showing
Most of the
clips. And
videos. Okay.
that's kind of the channels I've got. I finally got rid of SO, and because I was only watching him because of the plasma, electromagnetic stuff, and be able to see the sun without having to actually look at a website, check out the coronal holes, because that's what he first does first. But I'm still filtering out a lot of my channels now. Now I'm pretty much almost down to just like one called Last Messages. That's all. It's just a video of compilation clips that people have sent in of what they recorded.
Yeah.
With like no commentary.
Yeah. I started out, like I said, watching everybody because I was trying to get everybody's from Thor News to
Mm-hmm.
um, just I mean BP, all of them. Everybody talks about that. I had tried to talk to the moon or about the moon. At least, I mean, literally, I can say no less than 300 fucking comments in their feeds with like a wiki link to lunar phase. And I never got anybody to talk about
Mm-hmm.
it.
I did it for
So
a while
like,
and gave up. I didn't have quite the dedication that you did. That it was kind of a lost battle with a lot of those channels.
the last thing I wanted to do was put my face on a fucking screen. Um, I'm not that guy. I'm not the senator. I'm not the fucking politician. I'm not the fucking lawyer. I'm not the TV news guy. I'm not the movie star. I'm the guy that like hangs out in the back and tells you what you're doing wrong, and here's how you do it right. that's that's what I'm good at. And um, I find flaws in things and I know how to fix them. That's a strength of mine, but I've never wanted to be the front guy. I was trying to just get anybody to talk about the moon flipping so people would know, because I mean, to me, it's not about a front guy. It's about fucking, there's 7 billion people fixing to die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they aren't looking in the right place. And
There you go.
so,
There's your tattoo,
so the
right?
message really had, huh?
There's your tattoo, right? Close to it.
Uh, Pretty close. Except mine's in a, you know, mine's in a swastika shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a flower.
Yeah. See, it was. This is the picture where I got all my wallpapers from. I had stored, and I end up only displaying all the ones that were energy. Like this one's there.
Where'd you get it?
Digitalblasphemy.com.
Digital blasphemy. That's
Yeah,
funny.
you see it. The link like it's a watermarked desktop. You see it down there at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah,
Let
yeah.
me. I can make it bigger. I downloaded this years ago. I mean, I've had this for like probably 10 years. It needed neat that I actually set up all the slideshow of wallpapers. They were all energy flow without even me thinking about it. Heather actually pointed it out to me.
Yeah. Look at that. That looks like a Scientific Lee commercial right there.
Hmm.
Pull it back. It looks like the Boratora Oris field or whatever the hell he calls it.
Ouroboros Taurus field.
There you go.
That's a hard one to say.
I know.
I was talking about it before I even know how to spell it.
Fuck, you know how to spell it?
Yeah, I do now.
You didn't even say it. There you go.
I can type it better than I can say it. Boris. Well, right there, Ouroboros.
Hey, Alcon. Yeah, yeah, pager, the cell phone tracker, self tracker.
Yeah, let's see the neuron one. That's there. This one's there. Even this one. I didn't add that one, but that's still good. Double helix.
I ain't no Nazi, damn it. Fuck. I know it sounds like a fucking luxury car, doesn't it?
Well, is there anything else you guys want to cover in chat? We haven't had a question in a while. Except for when do we think it's going to happen? That's you guys
Yeah,
can judge that just as good as we can. All you gotta do is
yeah,
go outside and look.
it's kind of happening. Balls out. I love it. Yeah, oh my god, digital transmission of fucking cannabis. Fuck, that's awesome.
What?
I fucking power to the people, man.
That's the BFW.
That's good shit. That and floating balls. Not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep with my sinkers. How you doing, Joe? Sitting here chilling with everybody, having a Q&A. Any questions? Yes, the moon is turning upside down. No, I didn't catch him. I don't. I don't watch very many people. I do watch Scientific Lee.
And they'll watch Viper TV.
Well, see, I figure you know, if I can get people to realize that the giraffe is real, And it's not really an elephant. Maybe I can get them to look at the moon. I don't know. Truck, I'm just throwing facts out there, man. It's a goddamn giraffe. That's what it is. I mean, I'm giving honestly the facts that I'm going over every day and the are like a giraffe to me. They're
Second
they're,
nature.
they're a fucking giraffe. The IRA, it's a fucking giraffe. That's
Both a
it's
fact, you know.
the only thing that is.
Trying to
It's a,
normalize it.
you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say with the giraffe. Man. That's all. I'm just like, look, here's a closed field line. It's a fucking giraffe. that's what the giraffe connection is.
See,
That's all that.
I thought it was an Epstein connection thing.
Well, that too. I mean, fuck.
You know, some Epstein meme to say, here is a giraffe and here's its spots and it has horns and a long neck and Epstein didn't kill himself. You know, I thought it
Honest
was
to
one
God,
of those.
that's why I throw those in there every day. I'm giving out facts. I mean, these facts to me, Raw is a thumbprint. Period.
But is
It's
Epstein dead?
Is Epstein dead? I can't really tell you if he
I
is,
always say, Heather, his body doesn't match.
but I can tell you this much: if he is, it ain't the guy on the slab.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. If he is, it ain't the guy on the slab.
I don't know how else to answer that either. and and the rope burn didn't match. He was he was found with his feet on the floor. His feet
Yeah.
were on the fucking floor. He had to bend over to hang himself.
Yeah,
You know what?
I never, how anybody can hang themselves in a cell.
And you can't crush three fucking bones and your fucking jawbone from hanging yourself down here in a downward manner when you're hanging up here like this. I'm all like, wow, that is just ouch. Because Epstein's family has hired a new lawyer, and he's out to get. Because I'm sure Epstein has some fucking insurance money that's on hold because he committed suicide. See, now the lawyer didn't get into that. He's like, well, because they want an answer. I'm like, I'm sure they do. They got fucking billions of dollars tied up in that answer. He didn't kill himself, folks. The evidence screams, oh my God, this motherfucker didn't kill himself. All right. So,
But in reality, it doesn't matter at all. But
yeah, it really doesn't matter. But
it's just to
it's
show
just,
that we are basically having, there's a
I'm just
huge
trying to
show,
make,
Broadway show about our lives.
it's that magnet signature, the magnetospheres, um, all of that evidence. I'm just trying to make the connection. It's no different than a giraffe. It's all the same. It's a fact. It is what it is. It's not opinion. Because it's a fucking giraffe.
I want to see Wages World on my channel one day. Like commenting. You know, Blue Kool-Aid.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah, Wages World is Blue Kool-Aid changed his name
Okay.
to
Well,
Wages World, and
for God's sake,
I've messaged him a lot, like, "Hey man, I could really help you out, teach you about ISWA," and of course he never responds. Maybe he'll stop saying I don't know so much.
Yeah, I know. I mean, every day he's like, I don't know, I've never seen this, but I'm like, well, it's because you never looked at one before. Jesus Christ. Would you just take a lesson on the way electron magnets work if you don't want tips on ISWA?
Now he just got to go watch Scientific Lee.
Shit, dude. I've pointed him to Scientific Lee too. Well, he's in with the same crowd that
Yeah,
I
it's Planet X Hunters.
associate with.
That's why I said, there's the big channels, Planet X Hunters and others, and then you have the people that are learning from them that have their own channel.
Yeah.
And then you have the people that are watching them that they're starting their own little tiny channel, so it's just a big chain reaction as the lie goes from chain to chain, the layer to
Yep.
layer to layer,
And
and
then they
it's like,
repeat it and they repeat it and they repeat it. See, that's a government thing.
nope.
And you can tell when that's going on by just looking at the structure of it. Who's leading the pack? Who is the coordinator? Who keeps mentioning who? Who's doing who? Who's, and who's the bigger channel, bigger channel, bigger channel? You can see who's tied into that network on all different scopes of everything. My God, I've seen so many. It's not just this, it's everything. It's the fucking gay rights, it's the kids, it's the fucking racism. I mean, the whole thing is just hitting on YouTube. It's crazy. You can tell it's all encompassing. Now I know where all those fucking Langley people work, right here on YouTube, man. It's fucking amazing.
We're already hearing the trumpets, Truck Dog. I'm just trying to figure out, because I actually listened to Revelations the other day. I'm trying to figure out whether they're talking about the trumpets, which, the first 1 through 7. Sounds like we're on the 3rd. So I was like, well, maybe if I go back and listen to all those strange sounds videos, I'll be able to pick out, is there really only 3 sounds, or, just curious to see. Because they said the 7 trumpets are basically 7 different stages.
Yeah, when the final trumpets of Revelation hit, it's going to be the alpha wave, full blown, shake the foundation. That's what you're going to hear. That's going to be global, not just regional magnetosphere reactions. It's going to be a full magnetosphere reaction. We're going to be skipping suns at that point. We're going to be hearing trumpets. You bet. I'm surprised they're not louder now around the world, but I've never seen this before, so I don't know what that's going to look like. I imagine that's probably going to be after the revealing of Ra, even closer towards the actual perihelia event when 3 suns start their convergence. I mean, Christ, man, every binary system has a stupid little black hole. Well, we're going to be in a trinary convergence. There's definitely going to be a black hole involved here. So then we've got time dilation and all that good stuff. That's why I think they're harping so hard on what's that fucking Mandela thing, man. I'm telling you, there ain't been no Mandela. There's going to be some fucking freaky Mandela shit going on though, but not yet. I think that's what that whole Mandela thing's about, because it's fucking everywhere. And every time I look at it, I've either read that verse or fucking heard that and seen the misprint. I mean, they're making something out of nothing, and it makes you wonder why. Then there's the flat earth conspirators. It's like, holy shit, where did these people come from all of a sudden?
With like Mandela's, you'll see people don't understand. Like there's one channel that she talks about it a lot, Mandela, but I don't think she quite realizes, say, like corporations, they'll change their logos.
Yeah.
They'll modify them a little bit, every few years or something. It's like, it's a Mandela effect. Their logo changes. Like, no, corporations just change their logo sometimes.
That's like with the Ed McMahon thing. He worked for American Family Publishers, not Publisher Clearinghouse. I remember that.
It's
Everyone
just a
thinks he worked for Publisher Clearinghouse. He never did. They always ran those commercials back to back though in the daytime. I remember that. Maybe that's why they got them confused, because they always had the guys meeting these people at the door with their check, and then there was Ed McMahon talking about American Family Publishers Clearinghouse, back to back every day, back to back every day. And then, daytime TV changed and shit, and the old Ed McMahon stopped doing all that shit, and the fucking I was not that young, but I mean I was young, but I was old enough to remember that. And then they started making a big deal out of how he didn't work for American or the fucking Publisher Clearinghouse, and I'm like, he never worked for Publisher Clearinghouse. He never did. they're preying on people's weak memories, I think. And well, I mean, there ain't no I think about it. Or their ignorance of, like, the existence of wineskins and bottles. They actually made different versions of the Bible. Imagine that. That's where some of those verses come from. The American Bible, the New American Bible, all those changed the language. New translation, American translation, all these different. Of course, they have different. I've read them. Literally, fucking read those books. Um, I've read the Bible more than I think most people have. To be honest with you, um, and many versions of it, because the lions and the wolves and all that stuff. I've read all of those different versions, and it's the same damn story. They just changed a couple words. I didn't like it when I was reading it. Um, I wanted to go back to and learn from the oldest that I could find, personally, and I didn't get to do that until I met Jack Herrick, and George Clayton Johnson. I think they'll be hurting our heads too, Reba.
Yeah, 1748 hertz.
Yeah, they didn't have bottles back then. I understand that, but the New American Bible had it in there because they wanted to make it more friendly for American children.
Woohoo!
They bring out different versions of these books, and I mean, it doesn't end up in
3 hours.
everybody's motel room bed, like the Gideon Bible or the new the fucking Testament version of King James. They're out there though in bookstores. You can find all of those versions, and go to one of those Bible stores. They've got them. They've got all the versions. They're there. That's what, if you just look, they're there. They've been printed for reasons. Well, as I'm looking at it, I'm all like wondering, was there reason just to get this confusion going on because it's the right time to do so? You know, lions and sheep and wolves and sheep. Yeah, well, they change it. I know it doesn't sound. That's why I said I didn't like it when I was reading it. I was like, that doesn't even sound right. But okay, I mean, yeah, I don't know. They'll try. They they've been. That was before the internet. That kind of shit was going on. Well, yeah, that was before the internet. Some of it was after the internet, of course. I mean, they're still putting out different versions of the Bible all the time. So, that's something they're still doing. Yeah, I haven't read any for a long time now. You know, um, I went to the canon. I found canon. I have access to Bible canon. I didn't have that without my internet. See, that's where I started piecing shit together real fast. I went to Bible canon, and it led me straight to Anunnaki. I was like, oh, I get it now. And I studied that for 4.5 years. And about 3.5 years through it, I read that hieroglyph. And then I started looking into Egypt, just barely even, man. I haven't even started really looking into Egypt. I'm still on my South American tour. I want to learn all the cultures, you know. I'm looking at Egypt when it comes across my face, but I'm looking at all the cultures across the world. And most of them aren't here. I already know who's here. I haven't even looked at them yet, real deep. Every time I look at them, I'm all like, oh shit, oh fuck. You know, so I'm off in South America looking at the Peruvian stuff and Göbekli Tepe. You know, that's pretty cool. They're finding new stuff out there. So I'm watching little documentaries and shit like that. That's what I've been looking at. Not even really delving into Egypt so much. But every time I do, I get all like, oh, fuck. So I've kind of taken a break from it.
Let him sleep.
He's not sleeping.
He's trying to.
I'm uncomfortable.
You wanted him up there. Figured that camera might be a little bit more exciting than me.
No.
Tell them the Anunnakis are here needing our help.
Reebel's talking to you.
Huh?
Yeah, they need some help, all right.
Ooh, Rebel, he's a rescue.
You know, I avoid the preachers anymore and the ladies. I mean, I don't avoid them. They've been avoiding me, but and I didn't catch the last lady fast enough. But I don't go right to the preachers at the pulpit. I probably should. I wonder what had happened. Hey, dude, you seen the moon flipping upside down? Why ain't you telling your flock about the confounded moon? Dead serious on that. Why ain't you? Because, I mean, preaching that Bible certainly should be, right? Wouldn't they be the watch commander, be watching for some fucking signs? That guy get up on the pulpit talking to everybody on Sunday should be telling them, hey, look, here's that sign we've been telling you about. But they ain't, none of them, none of them. Why don't they?
They probably don't know.
Well,
They're
show
just like
them.
everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I should. I'd like to see the result of that. Maybe I should. Maybe I'm talking to the wrong motherfuckers. Maybe I got to go hit the pulpit.
I doubt you're talking to the wrong people. I think the Indians would be a much better way to go.
Well, see, that's cool too, but John, it's all of us.
Pastor has the bigger word, bigger audience, yeah.
I think I got myself something to do. Damn it. Oh, I'm gonna have to draw up charts and do a video. Because they ain't noticed. If they noticed, they'd be telling their people, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they?
Rebel.
Don't you think they would? Because
That's what he looked like.
number one, if a fucking preacher noticed that, don't you think that would get his flock's attention? Don't you think? No, I mean, dude, he could play it like YouTube. Tell me, Mr. Church dude passing around that plate, talking about the moon flipping and it's end of days ain't gonna have twice as many people in there next Sunday. They ain't noticed.
Yeah. But then you just have a lot more misinformed people. I don't know.
Well, once the preacher, well,
You gain a few people, the logical people. The logical people would see that and maybe go look, but there's lot more illogical people than logical.
a lot of people that have gone through seminary know what I know and you know, canon. So they're going to talk about it. The Mormons, don't they talk about Anunnaki? Um, I mean, like something. I think they do. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into many. I've been Southern Baptist and fucking experienced to that. I've been experienced to Northern Baptist and Methodist fucking, and then the new. Fuck, they were almost Amish. We'd give up TV and shit. Mom didn't stand for that long.
Truck doggy, I think you just Google Bible canon to see it. I mean, I'm sure there's books, literature out there, but I think the easiest way, I mean, you would just Google it, and then there's
I actually did a video. It's called Anunnaki Lies Exposed.
Yeah, that too.
And it shows you where to find it.
Yeah.
Basically, but yeah, it was a Google search. I find that my Google searches are a little more pointed than some people because, like today, somebody was saying they couldn't find the Hertz, and I went right and got it. So go copy the address off of my video, and I'll take you right there. That would be my best guess because I've had folks come back at me say they couldn't find my raw video after like being gone 20 minutes trying to find my raw video, and I'm all like, fuck man, it's right there on my. They were trying to Google search it, I guess.
Yeah, they were just Google searching.
It's right there on my page.
They didn't realize they had to go to your YouTube channel and find it there.
Scroll down. It's there. So yeah, you gotta be specific. So yeah, just go to my video. I'll show you where it's at. I'll walk you through it. I have to do another video someday. Again on that, of course. I'm realizing this is going to be a forever story. And people that will watch my shit from the bottom up, they'll be like, why does this guy keep repeating shit? And then they'll read the chat and be like, oh, that's why he keeps repeating shit. Well, and I don't expect people to watch me like a fucking news channel. I'm just putting it out there. But I kind of do, expect that if people are like learning, they might want to back up a few and see what I was talking about before they started looking. I don't know. I do that to Lee. I'm almost through all of his videos actually. When I find somebody that has good information, I fucking dig it. It's like, woo, I'm on it. But I'm noticing that a lot of people are just not like that. I do too, Kendra. a lot shorter than it was in 2010.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know when time's going to be. I keep going back to the fact that we all know. Well, okay, I don't know about we all know. I know the Anunnaki have fudged our timeline. There's no coincidence in this perfect vision here. I just I can't we I can't help get around something's gonna be fucking revealing itself, and I have a good feeling it's gonna be Ra.
So, Eric, the Anunnaki never left Earth, right?
No,
Okay, it was just
not
a
all of them.
yeah.
No, they were never all here,
It
but
just came up for discussion. That's all, and I'm like, no, they're still here. They never left.
yeah, they still run. See, they handed down the kingships and priesthoods from planet Heaven, um, in their stead. Now, some of them couldn't leave because they were born here. And there you go with that whole frequency thing. It wouldn't work unless you went from planet to planet in a God seat, like people have arrived here in. And they climatize because they come here in a straight heart. Well, we can traverse the universe like that, but you can't if you come in a physical form. That's why they would die early here. Their lifespans would be shortened. They didn't get along with our frequency. Um, and then they had kids that were born in this frequency. They couldn't go back to Neberu.
Let's put it upstairs. Hey, Rebo, you're talking about time. I actually keep two clocks going. One's on electricity that I, at the time, it was just plugged in and set, and then I've set up another one with batteries. So that's what I'm doing is I have two clocks that I don't change or don't touch just to see how they vary between the clocks on our computers or cell phones. And so far over the last few months, there's been between the two clocks 16 to 18 minutes of difference. The clocks, a smartphone shows an earlier time. So, for example, my computer clock says 103 now, but the battery operated clock would say 118 a.m.
It does sound raw. It does sound very powerful. It's very uh, powerful word right there. Very short, very distinct, to the point. It stands for something. They don't need a big, long, fucking pronounced fucking name to present itself. It ain't about the name. That's what Ra tells me. I'm like, yes, that's a sun god. No, it's not.
You brought him up there.
It is a sun, though, a big one. And he's the big one. He's the energy, he's the high energy sun. Well, if you're feeling vertigo and seasick, Yakov, go to your. I'll tell you what'll cure it, and then you need to learn how to do it yourself. You go up here and you find your 7.8 hertz, and you hit that sound frequency, you'll feel better instantaneously. Vertigo, seasick, go away. Next time it happens, do not go to YouTube and find that. Get in your chest and feel your calm. Just you have to resonate calm. because that's going to relax your field lines in your magnetosphere and trap your human in. When mom's is escaping, you're going to double layer your human for yourself, and it'll work. Uh, just if you even if you don't want to, I mean, you don't have to go look up the hertz, but it's going to help you, and it'll help you realize, well, maybe I'm not losing my mind, maybe I'm not sick, but you'll play that and it'll go away. And then you got to start making your own, because when our power grid goes down, um, you're not going to have that frequency generator.
Yeah, I posted a link to a YouTube channel. Yeah. All right, Eric. I think. Well, we've gone 3 hours and 30 minutes. It's after 1 o'clock for us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's late. Huh?
So we had that was, I never expected we would go this long, but I'm happy we did. So
Me too.
classic Eric Briggs live stream going for 3 to 9 hours.
Yep. Well, that's there's a lot of information involved, and fuck, man, you've seen my Facebook. I've been looking at this for a while. I've got a lot of information to give that I haven't even scratched the surface of from years ago to correlate. I mean, this whole thing's correlated from beginning to end. All the findings from the the beginning when I just had the Quake map to go by, and up to today, we're reading fucking hieroglyphs, man. that's that's fucking that's newsworthy, but nobody's talking about it. So I appreciate you giving your time for it, and
Well, it's my pleasure. You opened my eyes to the truth. We got to get it out.
yeah, we do. Hopefully, a million people watch this. I'll share it. I've already shared it, but I'll share it again. Well, I had a good time. We'll have to do it again. That's for sure.
Well, we will.
Mhm. So,
Got to use this computer for something.
yeah. Thanks for everybody showing up.
Yes, absolutely. So,
It's our pleasure.
so get out there and watch Scientific Lee, because
Yeah.
that's what you should be doing.
Point at the moon.
Yep.
Let people know shit's upside down. That'll get their attention. Some of them. And don't kill yourselves on people that don't want to know, because they just don't want to know.
Yeah, I mean, if you show them the moon, you'll know within 3 minutes whether they're interested or not. They'll say, "Hey, that's neat," and then maybe change the subject. Yeah. Hey, keep talking to him, whatever, your coworker, and hang out and not change anything. But obviously, you just got to change the subject. But
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's a roller coaster of life, truck. We got the ups and downs. I was feeling them today myself. I was upset with Walmart today. They stopped carrying my vanilla card that I've been paying my bills with, and they started carrying their Walmart Visa. That motherfucker wouldn't activate. I couldn't pay my bill. I had to get my refund. Go to
you
another
can
store.
you
I
can
was
keep the
upset.
same vanilla card. You just keep reloading it.
Yeah, I don't do that though.
Yeah.
I'd rather buy just that. It was a vanilla gift card
Yeah.
I was getting, not the vanilla prepaid.
Oh, okay.
I like getting the gift cards because I'll get, like today I had a insurance payment for $50.67, That's what I bought my card for, and I threw the damn thing away as soon as I used it. It only cost me $4 to buy it, and there ain't no monthly fee if I don't. I can go buy another one if I need it. So I don't want a card. I've never had them. I don't trust them. And now with all the bullshit that's going on in my life, I don't need one. I don't need one with any extra pennies on it.
Yeah.
As soon as I get it, I activate it. As soon as I realize it's activated, I hang up. I call the bill person I'm trying to pay that bill for, and I use it. Um, I've had someone steal my fucking shit before, and I got it back through PayPal, not through the Visa company, because they had taken and bought crypto coins or some
Mm.
shit. And PayPal was like, "Oh yeah, well, okay, here we'll reverse this." I was like, "Thank you so fucking much,"
Yeah.
because it wasn't going to do it. I would have been screwed.
If I order anything from China, I always try to go through PayPal as an extra protection.
Well, I had this thing to pay my bills, and I had put extra on it, and I was going to get gas with it, and I had to take it, had that extra security on it, so I couldn't even use it at the pump.
Yeah.
And I had to take it in to the cashier.
Prepay. Yeah.
Motherfucker got my numbers on the front of the card, didn't even have my card, but emptied that motherfucker. Some of it at the grocery store, just punching in the fucking thing as a credit card.
Yeah. We had the same thing. Someone bought a bus ticket in Italy with one time, and then did something else in Germany, a restaurant in Germany. So we're like, yeah, that's not us.
It's not us.
We're in Virginia right now.
I'd love to travel, but apparently this person
It's something I don't need, you know. So, but I mean, yeah. So no, I don't use the ones that you can reload. I don't have one. I don't have a bank account anymore. I bought silver with my shit. You know, fuck the banks. You got a senator trying to arrest you for trumped up charges and shit. You gonna close down everything you got and just run.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. I haven't reopened anything. I don't plan on it.
Okay. All right, guys, we're calling it a night.
Yep. Have a good night, folks.
It's been a blast. Come back next time. Check out Eric's channel. Lee, of course. So.